What is going on, everybody? Anthony here, 6 Scale Mafia. We are on episode 95, Saturday night, man. My man, Brother Cousins could not be with us today, unfortunately, but still have a great panel. We got Mario. What's up, my man?
It's funny.
What's going on, man, dude? First of all,
this right there just for him.
Oh, for BC?
Oh, he couldn't make it tonight.
That's his
Yeah.
Joker.
What's going on, man, dude? Doing good, dude. Welcome back home. You know,
Yeah, man, it's good to be back
on stream, man. And
yeah, it's good to be back.
Doing well, dude.
Thanks, man. Hell yeah, you've been busy too, man. I've noticed.
I've been here and there. You know, started my own thing on Monday nights. Did Scoundrels on Tuesday with Lael and the guys, and then what? Joao earlier. Yeah, I've been around. I've been around, dude, all week. It's been a fun week.
Hell yeah, man. It's awesome, dude. And Rob, what's up, man? How you been?
How's it going? I loved your footage from Vegas, the whole EXO-6 booth and all that. Very exciting. Very exciting.
Could have been there, man.
I know. We had it was last week. We had family coming in from France, and I wanted to come out, but I just got
France. Wow.
Yeah. Elizabeth is half French. Her mom's from France, so part of their side of the family came out, and we had a great time. I mean, yesterday on Saturday we went to Lake Arrowhead, and then the next day we took them to Palm Springs. So we were 6,000 feet at this beautiful bucolic lake in the mountains, and then we went to 110-degree heat in the desert.
Oh,
so
man.
That was really fun.
Damn, that does sound. It sounds fun. Look, it was fun for me, except the ride home, dude.
Yeah, I heard your car broke down.
Had a little adventure, huh?
Dude, I was fucking live streaming, dude. I was like, you know what? I'm gonna go on YouTube and just do like a road trip kind of thing, right? And I mean, we were like 2 minutes into a live stream, and then my roommate's car has these newer cars, everything's all digital. Like, it doesn't just like pop up in an icon anymore. It's like specific. Right. This fucking thing, dude. It says oil pressure low, danger imminent, pull over immediately. Danger and I'm like 2 minutes into the stream, he's like, and he reads it out loud, and I'm like, what? Wait, whoa, what the fuck? It's like, I don't know if you ever, I'm sure you've driven there, but like, there's this like 100-mile stretch, dude, of nothing. I was actually surprised I had signal to live stream, and I'm like looking at him. I was like, all right, dude, we gotta go. I was like, I gotta go. We gotta figure this out. So I cut the stream, and I look at him, and I'm like, dude, we got two decisions, bro. We can pull over right now and probably die in the fucking desert, like 115 degree weather out here, and no real signal, and who's to say like if the car will start again? You know what I'm saying? Like, if you shut this thing off, is it going to turn back on?
Yeah.
Or we keep going, bro. It's like
we're like going.
we're 20 miles away from Wickenburg, dude. And I'm like, okay, that's like, if we get to Wickenburg, that's like 60 miles away from Phoenix. So I was like, just slow it down. We don't need to be going too quick, and let's see if we can make it. And
risk further damage to the car.
Yeah, well, so he just got the car, though. That's the thing. He just got the car. It's like 8 or 9 days old, bro. From the dealership.
And it's already low oil pressure?
Yeah, so I don't know what happened. We pulled over, and I was like, look, I'll buy a couple quarts of oil. We'll put it in. We'll make it the way home. It should be okay. You know what I mean? I open up the hood, and there's not even a fucking oil cap, dude. I don't even know where it went. And shit's everywhere. Wow. Shit is everywhere. So then I'm like, well, I guess we'll try to take an Uber. There ain't no fucking Ubers in Wickenburg, bro. So I was like searching for, a way back, and then the dealer came, and they sent a van to come pick us up, and then a tow truck to tow the car, and it was just like this crazy.
So the dealer was able to still take care of it, man. It was still in some sort of warranty.
They gave him a rental car. So we went to you know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. They went there, and then, I don't know. So
sounds like it
was fucking crazy, dude. But anyway,
motivated.
Yeah, that was my whole fucking thing right there, man. I don't know what happened, but I made it home.
That's horrible, dude. That's the important thing, man. You guys made it home safe, dude. You didn't have to like walk miles and miles like in all those movies in the hot desert and start hallucinating.
Bro, we had all our luggage. I had like 40 pounds of camera gear. I mean, I was just like, yeah, bro, drive until it catches fire, because there's no way I'm fucking sitting out in the desert with nothing. I mean, that's that long stretch of like nothing.
That's horrible.
Like nothing, dude. So it was hot out, but anyway, I digress. It's good to be back. It's good to be back, seeing everybody, talking to everybody. Yeah, we had a lot of fun time, man. It's too bad Mario doesn't know much about Star Trek because it was awesome.
You introduced.
I'm sure it was.
Stuff was dropped there. You know, EXO-6 is doing the Lord's work with Star Trek.
Yeah.
To the real people that are making Star Trek. Oh wait, what?
I haven't watched season 2 yet, bro.
Season 2 of what?
Yeah, I know. Strange New Worlds.
What?
I know.
Who?
But hey,
Rob, I have no idea what you're talking about.
The figures are great.
Are they?
Yeah,
they're great. They are great figures.
I know he's just not a fan of the show, and I understand.
Dude, that Krug figure though, I owe you $300. That Krug figure is amazing.
Yeah,
it's amazing.
We'll talk about it a little bit because it was pretty. Yeah, it was. Yeah, but anyway, yeah. I mean, shit, dude. So much shit dropped this week. I kind of touched briefly on it when I got back. I did like a morning show, just a little, but there's like. If we can just talk about it just for a little bit, this Moff Gideon dropped.
Sure.
And
yeah,
I don't know how I feel about this, man.
You know, I thought their face sculpt on the first Moff Gideon was just incredible.
Yeah,
dude, right? I'm there with you.
This was there's 2 head sculpts in this, and they're a little kind of off, sort of. Or is there one head sculpt? And
one head sculpt.
One head sculpt
showcasing the rolling eyes.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe I don't know what it is. Is the mouth too big? I don't know because
I think it's the hair.
Yeah, it's the hair. I mean, 𝗕𝗘𝗢𝗢𝗕𝗥 Esposito, that Moff Gideon figure is so great. The first one, and look, I love all the cool armor. This figure is cool. For me, it's just the head sculpt issue.
Thankfully, it comes with a helmet, so you don't got to worry about it, man.
Peculiar. This just shows, right, that art's subjective, right? Because I heard that too. But in my eyes, I was like, dude, this looks way better than the first Moff Gideon.
Well, you know, I think that it's got a more realistic paint scheme. You know, maybe the paint ops are better. But, I mean, it maybe it's just he looks older. I don't know. I mean, this is a great head sculpt. As a sculpt of a human head, it's amazing. But it seems it's a little too... The features are a little too heavy. Giancarlo Esposito's features are not this heavy. Is heavy the right word?
I mean,
or is featured or defined?
Yeah.
Yeah, you think that's what it is?
Maybe. I don't know, man. It's some angles. I do see it. It's kind of a hit and miss. I think it's the expression and the way that they're emoting the eyes. It doesn't really.
It's true.
I don't know. I think it's off, and also the hair doesn't really help. But for me, I'm not really interested in this line right now. Anything season 3, I'm almost likely pass anyway.
Yeah.
But it was a cool scene in the actual show. He comes out all Beskar out. That was really cool. The Victorian cards behind him too look really dope too. I really like that look. But
yeah, and they showcased those earlier. Remember at the convention.
Yeah.
So I'm curious, you know, if those are going to drop. I also curious about that Bo-Katan. I think that Bo-Katan they tease is a different one.
Maybe.
Possibly.
Well, they showed the one with the rooted hair, right? And
I mean, you guys have brought up. Okay, I'm going to ask you both a philosophical question about figure collecting.
Sure.
So, like, we all love Star Wars. Like, I love all my OT figures, and like, I was just collecting Mandalorian figures because they're badass. You know, I've got the heavy Mando, I've got the armor, the first editions of all the stuff, and you know, Death Troop, the Death. What is it? What's Death Mando? What is it?
Death Watch.
Death Watch. Yeah. And you know, and they're great. It's great to have them because I was really into having a whole, and I've got my white sideshow Boba Fett that I've added. So I've got this Mando collection that I really love. And I love my Mando collection. But like you said, Mario, season 3, it literally killed my enthusiasm for the Mandalorian in general. So I look at this figure as a Star Wars figure. If I can believe he participated in adventures that I thought were good, it's still a cool figure. So the question is, if you love a franchise, even though there's bad stuff in that franchise, like I hated Wonder Woman 84, but I bought that winged, armored, the golden armor Wonder Woman because that's from Kingdom Come, and I put Wonder Woman next to my Kingdom Come Superman, and I've got a bit of a Kingdom Come display. So I I bought the figure despite hating that movie. So the question is, even if you didn't like, it's a franchise you like, but if there's something you didn't like in the franchise and there's a cool figure from that thing you didn't like, could you still buy the figure? Or do you have to like the show? Because I could look at that Moff Gideon and say, it's a cool Star Wars figure, and in the Star Wars universe, I can make him do whatever I want. So I don't care that I didn't like Mando Season 3. I still want to get it because it's a great figure. Or do you have to like the show?
I don't think that. I personally don't think that matters. I think a good figure transcends, any the IP that it's actually tied to.
See, I think so too.
So I mean, I have the sequel trilogy, figures, and I think they're great. Aesthetically, they look good. I mean, even though the sequels themselves weren't really that, well received. I mean, even amongst myself, the figures are cool though, man. I like them. They look good set up, man. I appreciate them.
Yeah,
Rob, you are. I do agree with you too that this is a cool looking figure, man.
Yeah.
But the thing is that with Moff Gideon, for me in particular, because I just feel like he's underutilized, and I love Giancarlo Esposito, man. He's
I
incredible.
do too.
Sure. Yeah, of course.
As a villain, I really want to see more of him, but I think I'm good with just the original one in my collection. I really don't feel the need for this one.
Well, that's another thing. I mean, when they re-release figures, my philosophy is I want to buy the best iteration of that particular, like for instance, Iron Man.
Right.
Like I really love the Iron Man. The armor is at 43 from Age of Ultron.
The 42, yeah.
The 42.
43. You're right.
It is 43.
Yeah.
That's my favorite Iron Man armor for whatever reason. The gold and the red, the way it works together. That's easily my favorite Iron Man armor.
Yeah.
I mean, I probably have 7 die-cast Iron Man figures. Like I bought 50 and 85 from Infinity War and Endgame because when they were coming out, it seemed like a good idea. But I don't like 50 very much. It's cool.
50.
Once they start doing the nano onward,
I like 85. I'm looking at my 85 right now. I loved 85. 50 is like too red. It's fine. It's a really cool figure, but I'm like, what do I need a bunch of Iron Man figures for?
If you're not a big Iron Man collector, then yeah, they look cool.
But when you get like 5 or 6 or 7, like for me, like I have the original Iron Patriot figure, which is a really cool figure. But I love my Endgame Iron Patriot figure. So what do I do with my original Iron Patriot? I have it. It's cool. It's in a box, a $400 fit. Why do I have any $400 thing that I own in a box? A toy.
Wow.
Well, aren't we all in a box of sorts as it is? I mean,
yeah, but I mean that's why we're crazy, all of us.
Well, we're all crazy. Yeah,
but that's what I mean. Like, how many Darth 12-inch, how many 6-scale Vaders have I bought in my life?
Yeah,
way too many.
Probably a lot. Yeah,
a lot. And all the way back to Kenner's 6-scale in the late 90s. Actually, I bought the original Kenner Vader from 79.
Ooh.
When it was new. And it's like, okay, so I've been buying Vaders my whole life. How many? They're not that different. So the New Hope Vader, and I have to tell you, I'm gonna freaking buy that Kenobi Vader with the damage.
Yeah, and you got Return of the Jedi Vader on the way too, so you're probably getting both of those.
They're both different, man.
That's what I think. And I've got the original Luke Bespin that comes with the gantry, and he's saying,
yeah.
So I need a Vader what I wanted to get was that the '𝗕𝗔𝗦𝗔 gantry when they're fighting from Empire.
Mm-hmm. Oh
yeah,
that's been the cool. Hey, I want to shout out to Brother Cousins, my man. He couldn't make it tonight, which Rob said was unfortunate because he has something for you.
Well, he knows. He's seen it. I just thought I'd put it in the background so he gets what he gets.
Right. So but he says the sculpt is way more superior. Also, that shirt is fitting a little loose, Anthony. Love you guys. Hey, yeah, Brother Cousins, man, dude. Go, subscribe.
Well, I mean, congratulations on on the accomplishment, bro. You're shedding weight, man. Looking good.
Well, 100 pounds this year, bro.
That's amazing.
That's
a lot.
great.
It's a lot.
All the cocaine.
It's all the cocaine, the strippers, and just
see what Vegas can do.
Living my best life, bro.
Dude, I've lost some weight myself just drinking.
You did.
Water.
You're looking great, man.
Thank you.
You're now become death.
I know. Destroyer of Worlds. Well, you know what it is? I'll tell you, it's amazing if you eat better, drink lots of water, and cut down on the booze. It's just amazing. Who would have thought?
I know.
I can do the water, but cutting down.
All right, Bob. We will acquiesce later. It's funny, man. Dude, it's rough. It's been a lot of work, dude. But Rob's right. I mean, I just don't eat like shit, and I fucking work out. And I drink a lot of water.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That's it. No sugars. I don't fuck with sugar. So, I know. But you know, it's look, I love stuff. We all do, right? I mean, I want to eat pasta and pizza and all that, the goodness and the sweets but you know, I'd rather live. So, you know, that's kind of how it's going for me right now.
Eating can be overrated sometimes, man. I want to be happy when I die. You know
me too, man. But no, eating like shit is fun. It is hella fun.
Well, I'm at that age where I'm old enough that I want to live a little longer. So
I
figure when I get real elderly, that's when I'm gonna go back to the hookers and the blow and the constant drinking of whiskey.
Yeah, never retire.
I'll be closer to the back end anyway, so I'm like, whatever.
Might as well.
Yeah. No, you might as well enjoy it, man. It's our only life. I mean, but that's the thing too, right? Like when we get to that point, want to always stay active. You know?
I have a new collecting philosophy too.
Oh, do tell.
Okay, here's my collecting philosophy. I have so many unbuilt models, so many unboxed figures.
Mm-hmm.
Like I've got the Blitzway, the Blitzway Fight Club figures. The two,
nice.
Tyler Durden. I've never opened those figures.
Really?
You know? Bro.
Wow.
I've got so many figures I haven't opened. Like I'm like, okay, no more. Now I'm gonna open up everything. I'm gonna display everything. Why do I have something? If I got hit by a bus tomorrow, people would be like, why do you have this like Japanese schoolgirl with all this armament that you've never opened? You know, why would you buy that? And I can't explain it because I'd be dead. That figure should be right behind me somewhere so people could see it.
Yeah.
And why are the models unbuilt? You know what are you saving them for? What are you saving them for? I have a 3-foot resin Star Destroyer kit that's like this big.
Wow.
I've had it for 10 years. Wouldn't that look better here somewhere?
That would look amazing
somewhere. Yeah.
Behind you,
Absolutely. But we do that, right? We often get like caught up in whatever, day-to-day routine or whatever that we're just used to. I mean, dude, I have, again, as I mentioned, feelings aside, I still haven't seen season 2 of Strange New Worlds.
Don't ever.
You'll
live longer.
I still gotta watch it, but you know my point. How am I gonna talk about things that I don't know about?
You don't need to know about them. Just know about the original series and the Next Generation and Deep Space Nine and Voyager and Enterprise. Because you know what? Star Trek Strange New Worlds doesn't want to know about you. Why do you need to know about it?
Watch
Let's talk about Star Trek as a whole.
With people in the Discord, those who've never seen it.
You know what? I feel lots of discord myself when I watch Star Trek Strange New Worlds.
Well, I know you do. I tuned in a little bit when you were kind of it's been kind of going on the past couple months, but yeah.
Well, that's just because it's I do have the Sucker Punch. I have 2 Sucker Punch figures.
Mm.
And no, you can't have them.
No.
Baby Doll's awesome.
It was Jay. I was like, what are you talking about, Rob? We're talking about Strange New Worlds. I didn't see the. I didn't see Jay.
Yeah, he's a sucker. Those figures. Although I have to be honest, I mean, as a middle-aged white dude, the fact that I have little girls from an asylum, that are being abused, it's kind of weird to have a figure of those characters.
Might as well just pass it on to Jay, dude.
Wow. $2 super chat from Bob Dylan. He was in there. That was to my point. I just watched season 3 of Picard in the Discord with some of our fellow
because it was great.
They don't watch Star Trek.
Good.
They all loved it. They all loved it.
Of course, because it's great.
Yeah.
Which is the one that y'all are raving about? Is it the 2nd season or the 3rd season?
Season 3. No,
third,
season
what
1
Bob
and
Dylan's
2.
Talking about.
Not so much.
Right.
Yeah. Thank you, Bob, by the way, for the super chat. Yeah, it was. Yeah. Come on. Season 3. And that was cool, man. I got to hang out with 𝗕𝗘𝗖𝗢𝗎 do this, last
nice
week.
Guy, right? Nicest guy in the world.
Super nice guy, man. Super nice. He gave me the album, the vinyl of season 3.
Yeah.
Signed it up. Ran into 𝗕𝗘𝗢𝗎𝗎. You guys know he was on 2 months ago here on the channel. So he was super. Everybody.
I was about to ask you when are you gonna have him on the show.
Well, we talked about it. I said, and I said, you know what? Because they're doing a bunch of conventions, and
did you talk to Jeffrey Combs?
Dude, I missed him. I missed him.
We still got to send him his Shran figure, dude.
He came to the booth, and it was kind of funny because, and I missed him, but he was like looking at the figures and stuff, and we took a couple pictures, and it was freaking hilarious because he was like looking at the booth, and he's like, "What the hell?" That was his picture because he's like, "Where's Shran?" Like it was because we didn't have a Shran on display, unfortunately. No, we didn't, but it was good, man. It was fun. Brent Spiner came, checked out his data from TNG.
Yeah, look, and dude, that Saavik figure is amazing.
Yeah, dude.
The head sculpt is great. Everything it's great.
Yeah. Walter Cohen came by. He was just by himself.
Yeah. He's going to be at a convention this weekend, I guess today. And he tweeted out a picture of himself. He said, "Come see me at this convention before I'm dead." I was like, oh man, that's dark.
Damn. Yeah. Jay says, if you give me the Sucker Punch figures, they'll make up for the bank robber Joker.
Oh wow.
No.
Come on, Robert. Just in there anyway.
That is pretty damn funny, man.
Yeah, not anymore. I'm open. No, the baby doll figure has been on display.
Oh, I got you. Well, shout out, man. What's up, Miguel? Man, shout out, man, to bro Miguel, man. Toy Quest 101. What's up, brother? Hope you're doing well, my man. Michael Torres has got to run. Just wanted to say hello to everybody. What's up, Mike, dude? What is up, man? It was great. It was great. We had a great time. We can talk about it in a little bit. I'll run through some of it, but I did want to kind of get through some of the Hot Toy things because speaking of freaking, where is it at? I'm not even going to share the tab. I'm just going to share the whole freaking window because what is going on with all of this, man? Maybe Mario can fill me in, dude. So we got the Disney 100, right? Is out now, right? And we kind of briefly talked about that. Which one? I'm sorry, Rob.
The Wonder Woman, right?
Oh no, the Wonder Bros. Yeah, that one did. But this is the D100 for Disney for the Iron Man, the Mark 7 special.
Yeah, there's a WB 100. There's a D100. There's all kinds of 100s going on.
Yeah, this one came out. I'm just briefly kind of looking through them. Is this one it here? Jesus, they're everywhere. The what is this? The Mark IV?
The Mark IV gantry set, quarter scale. Yeah, this also dropped.
I don't know. I'm not a big Iron Man collector. I know Rob.
Yeah,
too, but
no.
This is quarter scale, right?
Yeah, this one's quarter scale. All plastic.
This would be totally worth getting. Oh, it's all plastic.
It's all plastic.
Well, I guess because it's quarter scale one, but So
this particular shot right here with the ground pound pose. I mean, the way that the paint apps reflect the light, that looks amazing.
Yeah,
it's one of these things about these Iron Man figures is that I love the candy apple or the candy apple red paint.
Oh, they're great. No,
they look amazing
for sure.
Yeah, and I know some statue collectors that are really into this one particularly as well. That are really
because of the size.
The size, it's quarter scale, man. It'll fit your collection. Just like my quarter scale Hot Toys Vader, that'll blend in fine with my statue collection when I finally put it up. Hopefully soon. But yeah, no, it came out great. This is interesting to see. I'm curious to know if they're actually complete the original 7 in quarter scale. We've already got the Mark III. We already got the Mark IV. I think they're teasing a Mark II along with a Mark VI as well. So they're all, I don't know, they might as well do it. But I like it though. It's a cool looking set.
I dig it, but it's just a lot, man. Quarter scale and then MCU and then Iron Man. We got like about a damn near 100 of them. So it's tough because I like Iron Man 1, 2, and 3. I don't know if I'm in the minority here, but a lot of people didn't like 2 and some really didn't like 3.
I really like 2. Yeah, I thought 2 is like it. I don't think it deserves the hate that it gets.
No, I don't either.
Enjoy it.
No,
I understand.
If you go back and watch Iron Man 2 again, it's pretty entertaining.
It's fun, man. I really like it a lot.
I like all 3 of them, dude. For me, without getting too into it, MCU kind of died for me, dude, at Endgame. So when I
for a lot of us.
Yeah, so when I revisit, I really like watching these Iron Man films, dude. I mean, it sounds crazy, but fucking Iron Man was 2008.
Yeah,
dude. I know. 15 years ago.
15 years ago.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah.
What the fuck? Yeah, I've always loved the design of these MCU Iron Man suits, man, and I've acquired a few of them. I mean, Rob, I've got the original 1 through 7 along with the Hall of Armor that it's supposed to come with, and a few extras on top of it, man. So I could probably have myself not a full Moducate shelf of it, but like a good size.
But see, that's if you look, I'm not saying that. Like, I used to love looking at that dude that Budget Stark, you know, who collected.
Of course.
But when you see his collection of Iron Man, it looks so good. You know, the way he has it displayed, but he's specialized in Iron Man.
But you know what really got me though is that, Rob, I don't know if you ever saw the Interventions display over at Disneyland. They had an Iron Man display when Iron Man 3 came out, and it had the Hall of Armor 1 through 7, and right in the middle was a Mark 42 from Iron Man 3. So they had that whole diorama full-size display, and it was a whole Iron Man experience. And when I saw that, I was like,
of course, that makes it look amazing.
That got it. Yeah, that got it to me. So, like, you know what? When Hot Toys decided to start the diecast line, and they started off with the Mark 3, I had that envision in my head, like, you know what, that would look cool if they redid the entire 1 through 7 in diecast along with the Hall of Armor itself. I told myself I'd pick it up, you know, just because of the memories that I had with it. So
I mean, I would say the Hot Toys 6-scale diecast Iron Man figures are some of, if not the best, some of the best toys ever made, ever. I mean, the engineering and all, the only thing that could make them better is if, you know, they had one LED plug-in for the lights and there was a battery inside them. I understand why they couldn't do it at the time, but those figures, because I have Iron Man, I have the Iron Man 3 diecast, and I have the original, I have the first gray War Machine diecast, and I probably have, you know, 6 or 7 Iron Man diecast figures, and I just kept buying them because there's no better toy. Those things, when you hold those in your hand, you hold an Iron Man diecast figure in your hand, you can't not marvel, so to speak, at how great that toy. Like, I mean, as somebody that has been collecting action figures my whole life, you know, I started with 12-inch GI Joes. There's no better figure than those in terms of their engineering, the complexity. I marvel. I don't mean to make the joke. They are wonderful, wonderful toys.
And you can feel the quality, you know, when you're holding on to those things, and the ingenuity that's actually put into these figures. Once you start messing with the articulation and everything, this works like that. And then the light-up features on top of it, it's the icing on the cake, man. It just makes everything come to life.
Oh, yeah.
Incredible. Yeah. And I can see, I mean, if I had the money, if I had unlimited funds, I would buy all the diecast Iron Man figures.
Sure. Yeah. This one, the Mark 3/4 scale in the gold minus.
Well, that's 2 quarter scales in like a week.
2 quarter, one announcement, 1 release. However, this one with being a limited edition, man, only 300 going to the Shanghai store, from what I understand. But what's cool about this thing is that they give you the acrylic case, and each one of these are individually numbered as well, out of 300.
Wow.
Yeah, that's
awesome. We only saw that once, like you said, with the with the Michael Jackson Beat It, right?
Yeah.
So now we're seeing it in the quarter scale Iron Man. Yeah.
By the way, I never thought I'd say this, but I can't wait for that in arts Michael Jackson.
Well, it's looking pretty good.
Rob, can I ask you a question, Rob? So there's been a thing between some of us 6-scale collectors here, right? I even had John from InArt on my show. We brought up the fact that they're bringing out Michael Jackson, and while Man Miguel was there, we had to ask him, hey, can you settle a little bit of a debate with us? We able to have a little internal discussion talking about if we like Michael Jackson or Prince more, if we're more of a fan of one or the other. Right. So myself, I'm a Prince guy, and I'm the minority, you know, in this discussion. So I'm curious to know with you, man, if, you know, I know you're into musicians and everything, man. Prince over MJ?
Okay, first of all, Prince every day, twice on Sunday. The reason being is that they're not even in the same league.
They're not.
And I would say that, I mean, Michael Jackson is a singer. He's a vocalist, and he's an entertainer. He's a great performer. He's an entertainer. Prince was a genius. Prince is a producer. He plays drums all percussion, piano. He's one of the greatest rock guitarists that ever lived.
Yep.
And he produces his own records. As a matter of fact, he produced his first Prince for You, Prince, Dirty Mind, Controversy. He produced those whole albums himself.
Mm-hmm.
You know, he's in a whole different. Now, this is not to take away that Michael Jackson, as a vocalist, as a dancer, as an entertainer on stage, is fantastic. But he didn't play an instrument. And it's like Prince played multiple instruments and he's a virtuoso. So I mean, it's weird to me. Like, I don't even know why people compare, because Michael Jackson and Prince were contemporaries and they did have a rivalry. I think Prince had more of a rivalry with Michael Jackson because Michael Jackson sold more records. But Michael Jackson wouldn't be where he was without people like Quincy Jones producing his albums. You know, whereas Prince did everything on his own. And I think that Prince there's a lot more. I mean, Michael Jackson's songs were great, but he didn't even write all of his songs.
No, a lot of these guys don't too. That's the thing a lot of people don't know.
And so it's like people have always said this to me. They've always pitted Prince against Michael Jackson to me, and I always look at them like, "What are you even talking about?" They're not even. They don't even belong on the same floor of a skyscraper together. Michael Jackson can be out on the balcony, but Prince has the fucking penthouse. That's how I would put it.
Said, my man.
You know, Prince will be on the balcony going, "Chimo," but whatever. You know?
Hell yeah, dude.
So
I will say real quick though, thank you, my man, 12-inch Moose Stream, for the $5 super chat. He says, "No more talk about death. I'm 61 and have bought 14 Hot Toy figures and one EXO-6 since last Saturday.
Wow,
I buy more tomorrow."
When you're 61, you have the money, so it doesn't matter.
Right? But that's awesome, bro. Not gonna stop, dude. Appreciate it, brother. I do appreciate. Yeah. Well, you know, that's what we do. Straight up. You know. Damn. Plus, both were on the Muppets.
Was Michael Jackson on the Muppets?
I think so.
See.
Are we gonna Google that? I don't know. While Rob's Googling, man, 150 in the chat, man. Let's hit that like button. Subscribe if you're new to the channel. Subscribe to my buddy El Professor over there, and Robert Burnett Network. If you have not already, I got their links in the description.
Michael Jackson is yes, he was on a special Sesame Street Christmas.
Sesame Street.
He appeared in the 1978 TV special, A Special Sesame Street Christmas, and he gave Oscar the Grouch a book about ghosts.
Oh, I was thinking the Muppet Show. Whenever I hear that he was on the Muppets, I think about the original Muppet Show back in the day. But
well, they did the crossovers too, didn't they? Like
and Kermit the Frog dressed as Michael Jackson on the cover of Bad, but it says not bad.
Okay,
did not know that.
On his Wikipedia, man. Look, it's
all right.
This is some classic stuff here. Wait, I'll
ooh, what's here?
Yeah, yes, we do have a $10 super chat from Brian.
Hey, Brian.
What is up, my man? Hello, guys.
Up,
Brian, we need to get some Moji cases going here soon. I'll have to message you in a little bit. I've been busy. I know you were busy. You were out of town. I was out of town, dude. Thank you so much, dude, for the
Wasn't
super
Brian
chat.
here in the States?
He was so busy, man. I didn't get a chance to link up with him for dinner. But he'll be back later. He'll be back later, man. We all got to link up.
We all got to link up. We all had the opportunity to link up in Vegas last week, but
we got to ask him what's the best thing to use to get a scratch out of a Moji case piece.
Bro, that Novus.
I gotta get that. I gotta get that.
Yeah, I've got it somewhere around here. I'll show you.
I've tried with no success. Maybe my scratch is too deep. Yeah.
What are you guys doing to your cases?
Well, when I moved, you know what? It was one of the front cases that fell out when I was moving, and it got scratched. But you know what? I realized when I was building my Hollywood Squares Moji case set, I just decided to because I had extra sides because I had them all open.
Yeah.
So in the middle of the bottom, I built it without just a regular piece. You can't open it up. You can open the sides. You kind of have to go in, but Brian Wong says he's been officially appointed by Novus as a retailer in the U.S. So I guess Novus it is.
There you go.
Hey, that works, amazing. Dude. That is pretty awesome, man. Yeah, because that's what I want to do. Like eventually when I move, because I built mine years ago, but they're just the racks, Yeah,
those are great too.
They are great. Here's the one caveat, though. that I will give Brian credit to, because I can't seem to do it no matter how hard I try, unless there's somebody else that knows and I'm just stupid. I can't dust proof these things, man.
You got to figure out a way to get rid of the static electricity.
Well, that you can do, right? You can have like one of those air purifiers in here to kind of like break down the particles and all that shit. But no matter like how I put the acrylics, just I don't know if it's the way these things are built, the grooves on the sides. And I'm in the desert, man. It gets dusty here. I'm sure it gets dusty everywhere. But you know what I mean? It's just like it's a pain in the ass, dude. It's a pain in the ass.
You know what I realized too with my module cases. So this garage that the 𝗕𝗔𝗩𝗘 that I'm in is relatively unfinished. Like I don't have white walls, so you can just see wood. So I put up the module cases and it just didn't look good with wood, just empty wood. So I was looking for. I actually just ordered some fake brick. Like just that you put on buildings, like it's stuff for if on a movie set if you don't have real brick.
Sure, of course,
So just to have brick behind the module cases, you don't even see through the module cases, but just to have brick framing them looks cool. It looks cool. It's awesome. Wood.
Yeah, I bought like that fake, wood panel vinyl that we had in the 80s, and that's how I did my arcade in the back. Just kind of.
Dude, you know what I got? I got from they had $9. I got those mats, those blacklight mats.
Oh yeah, from New Wave, right?
Those are those. And by the way, did you see that Bob Dylan got the Coke machine?
He did.
And
he did.
Like, I saw his little story.
With that, man, like because he's a member of the web, whatever.
Yeah, he's gonna put some up on the site once they're done.
I want to hit up Bob Dylan and be like, bro, I need that new Coke.
That's what I got. Coke. I got the new Coke coming because
I got to have the new Coke.
Y'all sound like a bunch of addicts right now, man. I need that new Coke.
I need that
not the soda itself. It was awful.
It wasn't good.
I just want a new Coke machine because my arcade is all 80s and that shit came out in the 80s and it just kind of fits.
I mean, I realized, I was looking at the as a matter of fact, I was cleaning my 𝗕𝗘𝗢𝗙 machine.
Oh, look at you!
Oh, look at that!
Nice. Look at that! Yes, and it's great because this lights up and everything.
Yeah,
these things are awesome.
Oh yeah,
they're awesome.
Yeah,
I love them. I just wish I had Food Fight and Dragon's Lair.
Well, I have Dragon's Lair. Don't have Food Fight.
The thing is, I'll get it one day.
You will. Just like I'll get 𝗕𝗘𝗙𝗎 one day. Not today. But they're awesome.
I mean, I don't know how many I need. I'm still trying to figure out how to play 𝗕𝗘𝗎.
Oh God, I don't know how to play it either. So
I have to make fun of that. I never knew how to play that in the arcade. Now a 6-scale version, I can't play that either.
Yeah.
Why don't I tell you how old I am without telling you how old I am? I don't know how to play this machine. I don't play 𝗕𝗘𝗎.
Well, they also showed off Ghouls and Ghosts, which we talked about, when we had New Wave over on the channel last month, but they just showed it off again, and I'm like, okay, gotta get that. I gotta get that. That's Ghouls and Ghosts, Ghosts and Goblins. That's like the hardest game I've ever played.
Yeah, which one are you gonna get? Which cabinet?
Dude, I don't know.
I can't
because
either.
Ghouls and Ghosts look so cool, and the coin ops are green. They glow green instead of orange.
I know. I mean, I know. Somebody in the chat, by the way, asked me if I collect anything else. Robotech, anime. You know what I've been doing? Oh, here. For those yes. Okay. So the three things: Macross, Robotech, Gundam, and Space Battleship Yamato, and Legends of the Galactic Heroes. So what I was doing before I came on the stream was so this is the instruction manual for the 1/350th scale Hyuga battleship from Space Battleship Yamato 2205.
It's a binder. Wow.
Oh yeah, these are the instructions. This is a Partworks kit. So it is 70 volumes. So in Japan, every week the parts come out, and I have a Japanese buyer that picks these up for me.
That's so cool.
So each one of these is an instruction manual for the part work that came out that week, and then it also has information. It's really cool about the ships and everything.
Oh, cool.
So I was putting. So I have the first. So this is volume 3. They've made 3 since 2019. They've made 3 of these. They've made Space Battleship Yamato itself, the Space Battleship Andromeda, and the carrier 𝗕𝗕𝗢𝗢. And these are about this big.
They're pretty big. Yeah,
they're huge, and you have to. They are gigantic. They're made out of die cast. You have to full light kits and everything. So I haven't even started on this because I'm not done with my Andromeda yet. But I was putting the pieces, the instruction manuals, into the binders, and this kit has 4 binders.
Jesus. So that's a project. That's a.
Oh yeah. It takes. I mean, you could do it probably. It takes a lot of work.
Well, yeah. When I was younger, I used to, if you guys remember Walmart, they used to carry the Gundam models.
Yeah. Well, I used to
buy
have
those a lot.
I really love Gunpla, and then I stopped buying Master Grade Gundams, and I just stuck with Perfect Grade because I like bigger stuff. But I kind of got rid of those too. But I've got a few Perfect Grades left that I really like. And the other thing that I really love is Bandai's Soul of Chogokin line.
Yes.
Which is mostly, I mean, they got some stuff like from Power Rangers, but there you go. Is that Voltus? I mean, that's Voltron.
This is the Go Lion. Why am I out of focus? What the hell?
Go Lion. Now, is that the Soul of Chogokin version?
It's the Soul of Chogokin version. Yeah.
How?
I love this thing.
Can we wax rhapsodic about how great? So before Bandai was Bandai, they became Papinika. They were Papinika back in the Poppy back in the 70s. And so in the 70s you could get those, and they made them. So the Soul of Chogokin line, which I think started in 2000, 99, 2000, they made much better versions of their Japanese super robots. And they've done everything like Grandizer or Goldorak, Grandizer, UFO, I mean, they've got Getter Robo G and Getter Robo, the Go Nagai stuff, and I love that stuff.
Yeah, this Voltron, man, the original one was so nostalgic for me, bro. I love this thing back in the day. And what was it, Matchbox that did the original one, right?
Yep.
The original diecast back in the day.
Yep.
I had that, and then it was reissued under, what was it, Treadmasters or something like that back in the late 90s. Picked up some of those, and then I saw this. I had to get it. I had to get this one. I absolutely love it.
Camera.
I have no idea, man.
Did you ever see?
I gotta put on my glasses.
Did you ever see? They brought a line. They brought to America. They brought some die-cast Japanese super robots, and the label was Godaikin. Like Godak. Is it Godakин?
It might be.
Godaikin.
Whoa, Mario's like really zoomed in. What's up?
Yeah, there we go.
It worked though.
Yeah, it was. It was Godaikin. Godaikin.
Okay,
dude.
Yeah, CT.
Those were the great, because there's a Godaikin Voltron. The Godaikin stuff is unbelievable if you love those super robots. But if you can find good condition Godaikins, Bob Dylan asks if I've ever heard of Gunpla Melly. Okay.
Yeah, I've heard of that.
No, not that. Her.
I've heard of her as well. I've seen her around.
I was convinced when I started watching Gunpla Melly that I was being trolled. I was convinced.
Why is someone like that collecting Gundam, right?
Well, because she basically looks like the half Japanese young Jennifer Connelly. I mean, she's really, really attractive, and she's always there with her cleavage. But
that's a plus.
On the other hand, she does go to Japan and she goes Gundam shopping, and she knows her stuff. But here's the thing: I'm going to admit right now, I feel dirty, and that I should report myself to the authorities every time I watch a Gunpla Melly video. Like, I'm too old to be watching this, but I'm thinking to myself, boy, I really wish I grew up in a world that had girls like her. Because
we didn't
at all.
No fucking way did we.
There was no Gunpla Melly. There was no Gunpla Melly when I was a boy, and if there was, I would have wanted to have made her my girlfriend.
Yeah. Wow. We grew up in different times. I mean, even like gym teachers, you see that shit all the time. Gym teachers or other teachers with
Yeah, like these hot blonde teachers that hook up with these 16-year-olds. I'm like, what's wrong with that?
Bro, ours were like fucking WWF wrestlers, bro. Do you remember? Or like,
but I'm like
times, man.
Even 𝗕𝗘𝗄𝗧𝗧 has this really cool little anime logo that has a funny sound sting when you see it. And she's been YouTubing for years now.
I haven't seen her. I haven't heard of her.
Dude,
you never heard of her?
All you have to do, just 𝗕𝗘𝗄𝗧𝗧 and just as soon as she comes on, you'll understand. I mean, it'll.
I got an idea. I'll look it up for sure.
It'll take you like 2 seconds. 𝗕𝗘𝗄𝗧𝗧. It's probably just go images. Now I want to know what the first image that shows up. Oh yeah, there you go, 𝗕𝗘𝗄𝗧𝗧.
All right, I'll take a look. I will take a look. SB, no, I have not caught your latest stop motion, man. No, I have not. I didn't know you did one. I will go check it out if you guys haven't, man. SBeam's doing cool stop motion in 6 scale figures, dude.
Actually, it's funny, these images that show up they don't show her in her best light. So you probably want to see a video.
Yeah, I'll just check out a video or something, man. Robert online those, right, though? On the plus side, we had Elvira.
We did.
Yeah, but and I don't know if you know anything about Elvira, but she doesn't play for our team, so
I know.
Nothing wrong with that. I'm just saying. And if 𝗕𝗘𝗄𝗧𝗧 turned out to, I'd be sad. My old man, the old man in me.
That's still in there for me with Elvira, but hey.
No, Elvira's amazing. I love her.
Yeah, she's awesome.
Cassandra Peterson's amazing. I love her.
Yeah, I met her at a con like years ago here in Phoenix, and she's awesome, dude.
Yeah.
She's super awesome. Plus, she just did something to me at a young age, man. I don't know what it is, man, but
I know
I'm into all that good stuff. So, yeah.
All us dudes know.
Hell yeah.
Blood going for sure.
Yeah. But, totally digressing, talking about robots and all this. And let's bring this one up real quick. If we can.
What a segue.
Yeah. Well, what the hell? These dropped. Figure we can talk about them for a minute. I don't know if you're interested in any of these, Rob. I
want R5D4.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now that he's a scaredy cat.
Yeah. But pretty cool, though, man. Because this kind of brings me to your point earlier that you were talking about. Not a big fan of Mando season 3, or in general, this Star Wars lately just hasn't been vibing with me, right? However,
this could be the exception.
There's still something I feel like I can pick up even if I didn't enjoy that because of what it is. You know what I'm saying? Because they're the droids, they're part of Star Wars.
It's that they have that legacy attachment, man, from the original trilogy.
Yeah.
You know, in a sense, also the pig droid in a sense, with the prequels as well. But it's R5, bro. Now I kind of got the feeling that we might get R5 in an original trilogy set. At least
you think they'll double dip?
When do they not double dip? So
stupid push.
Yes,
I don't know what I'm thinking, guys.
Absolutely.
I'm still out of my element a little.
Yeah. By the way, dude, I did send you 2 clips of a recent video from 𝗕𝗘𝗄𝗧𝗧, so you will understand.
Oh, very well.
There you go.
I will send them to you on Facebook.
Okay, I'll pull them up here in a second.
There you go. But no, this is a cool set, but it's interesting that this is pretty much sold out damn near everywhere, from what I understand.
Isn't that kind of crazy?
But that's a cool. That's a cool thing.
Yeah,
astromech droids are always cool.
Yeah.
But I feel like I didn't pre-order this thing, and I feel like I'm okay without it. I think it's just because I'm hopeful that R5 by itself will come out, on another line.
And do you think we'll get a proper BD1 with a Cal Kestis?
I'm sure we will. We will. The pig droid, I don't know if that can come back or not. It might. I just don't understand how.
If they make a 𝗕𝗘𝗄𝗧𝗧, she'll likely come with
possibly
a version.
Yeah.
That's a tough one. What about you, Rob? Is this something that you pre-ordered or?
No, I didn't pre-order this. If I wanted to pick it up one day and I could, it's it's an astromech droid. People always look at it. It's cool though.
It is. This is cool right here.
I like
R2.
The thing is though, here's what I can't R5D4 is the astromech droid that had a bad motivator. Like
the car Anthony was in.
Yeah, there you go.
Yes.
And hey, what are you trying to push on us? I mean, it's like R5D4 was designed to be the gateway for R2D2 to join the adventure. So
that is true.
And then they turn him into why do they have to make R5D4? Here's what I don't understand. In the entire prequel trilogy, they did R2D2 so or pardon me, in The Force Awakens, they did R2D2 so dirty. I mean, by putting, I understand they have to make, they have to have a new droid and everything, and everybody loves BB-8 and all that. But why does R2D2 literally have to have a tarp over his head? He's one of the most heroic characters in all of Star Wars.
You know, you've answered this question before, man.
I know, dude, but come on, man. You don't do that.
New toys and say whatever to Lucas Disney.
But why would you do that at the expense of arguably the most beloved robot in all of cinema history? Why would you do that?
Yeah.
Why does everybody have to shit on legacy characters in order to prop their characters up? Which, by the way, BB-8 did not do anything as heroic as fixing the Millennium Falcon's hyperdrive in Empire Strikes Back.
No.
R2D2 guided that X-wing in the Battle of the Death Star.
Until he got shot up. Until he got blown up.
But he was there, you know, and he survived even though he got shot up.
Sacrificed himself on the Battle of Endor as well.
He got out on Queen Amidala's starship and saved their asses in space.
He did.
Yeah,
in space. He was the last man standing.
Yeah. And then you put that character under a tarp. That's like putting baby in the corner. And you know what they say about that.
Yeah.
Nobody puts baby in the corner, but apparently people put R2D2 in a corner with a tarp on his head.
Yeah, it's horrible. It's horrible.
I mean,
it really
but
is.
You know what? This is I like this design. I like the angular, the head. I mean, R5D4, you know.
He's pretty cool. Don't get me wrong.
I didn't know this. In the expanded universe, R5D4 purposely blew his motivator. I like R5D4 more.
Oh yeah,
that's true.
Yeah,
that's like Tales of the Bounty Hunter. You know, IG-88 was about to take over the Death Star 2 when it got blown up, or was it the Death Star? No, it's Death Star 2. And then he got they wronged him.
Yeah.
Oh well.
OG fan though, my man, dude, celebrating 15 months channel membership, dude. That's awesome, man. My dude. Huzzah! R2D2 is the hero of 1,000 devices. Long live R2. Great show, gentlemen. Thank you, dude. Thank you, my man, for the continued support, brother. Yeah, I mean, R2 is, I mean, when you say one of the most, I don't know, famous or recognizable, you know, robots, droids.
One of the most iconic out there. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, other than maybe Terminator and Johnny 5, but I don't even think Johnny 5 gets the love.
And Robbie the robot from Forbidden Planet. And the Robotrix from Metropolis. But that goes back to the 20s. And C-3PO is based on that design.
This is also true, man. This is true. I mean, no, I get it. You know, it sucks. It sucks that they do that. But I mean, it's cool to get an R5. It's just, are we going to? No, I don't think I've seen this girl before.
Sorry,
but you can understand why people like her.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, she's pleasing to the eyes.
But she's also the kind of girl you believe you could get. Like she's not too. She's just and
she's not overly.
No, when you watch her talk, but she does always accentuate her cleavage, which I appreciate as an old man.
She knows what she's doing. She gotta get them views, man.
She knows exactly what she's doing. That's why I wonder when I first saw her, I'm like, am I being trolled? I think the first time I saw her was in the pandemic when I was watching a lot of YouTube. I'm like, what?
You're like, what is this? Okay. Starting to make a little sense to me. She knows her stuff. Yeah, that's kind of cool, man. Movie Canada, what's up, man? This is Mafia, Robert, and back. El Professor, always a pleasure.
Movie Canada, likewise, bro.
Likewise, my dude. Hell yeah. Brother Cousin says, just watch your video. Very cute.
That's the thing. You cannot not watch Gunplum Ellie and be a fan.
Hell yeah, the Big Robowski. That's pretty funny. Hell yeah, man. That's great, man. That's another great freaking movie, dude. Yeah, we got one other thing. I'm not getting it. I've talked about this the other day, but I haven't heard either of you guys talk about this. So, if I may, it's Neo.
Yeah, dude, it's awesome. And the Matrix Resurrections rules.
Whoa, hot take. Wow.
Are you serious?
Yes.
Yeah, you really enjoyed
I went
it?
and saw it with Latino's Plant,
it.
man. I went and saw it with Paulie, and we both loved it. We went opening day. First of all, look, here's the thing. This movie defines, you can't judge a movie by what it's not. You have to judge it by what it is. And everybody wanted to see the Matrix again, and it's not that at all.
But it's
that's why you like it.
Resurrections.
The movie is
in the title, bro.
I know, but the whole point is it's a meta commentary on franchises, and there's so much going on.
It is. It totally is. Yeah.
One day it's going to be recognized for what it is. But
I mean, so did the sequels for Star Wars.
No, because they're not good.
We'll talk about that. Yeah.
All right. Well, all right. That's fair.
I was not drunk. I was not drunk when I watched this movie.
This was something actually I turned this on last Sunday. I started watching it. Yeah. And I was actually getting into it because of what they set up. I thought I was intrigued.
Yep.
I just didn't get a chance to finish it. Everybody's gonna start dogging on me now because something came up. I got sidetracked. I still need to finish it.
He fell asleep.
I didn't fall asleep. I swear. No,
I did
not fall asleep. I did not fall asleep. I did not.
But you'd never seen anything about this movie before? You'd never seen it before?
Not this particular one, no.
See, I think this is going to be one of those movies that people they're not going to watch because people tell them it's terrible. Yeah. And then when they watch it, it's actually pretty intriguing. And when you follow it, it's a very. So the problem is when everybody expected something different from this movie. And the thing was, people didn't like Matrix. Look, the Matrix is one of my. I love the Matrix so much, and I am a defender of. I think Matrix Reloaded and Matrix Revolutions. There's a lot of good stuff to like in those movies, but they just. I mean, the first Matrix was thought about, and it was designed, and it was considered. The whole thing was storyboarded, and nobody expected it to become the hit it became. And then the Wachowskis suddenly had to come up with these other two movies, and I just don't think that they didn't work. You know, they got too overly convoluted, and it's like, what are those movies actually about? And it should have been about freeing everybody's mind. You know, you have you got humanity is trapped in the Matrix, and to pull them out, you have to do it humanity by the end of the Matrix, Agent Smith is like replacing every human being that's in the Matrix with himself. And it was like, oh, I guess that the whole premise of the first Matrix is that in Neo, you have to take the red pill or the blue pill to even be liberated from the Matrix. All that like goes away. It doesn't matter. But
the first one's the best, dude. The first one is
by a wide margin. But I will say this.
That changed my life.
I love the car chase in Matrix
Reloaded. Yeah,
I mean, there's some cool stuff in Reloaded.
There is, and
the agent
and the third one
in the park. I thought that was pretty badass too. Man.
Yeah, the Burly Brawl.
Yeah,
it's cool.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. Yeah,
it's kind of aged poorly.
But the thing, I wouldn't. Here's the thing, I had to be talked into watching The Matrix because the thing is, at the time when it dropped, Keanu Reeves to me was Theodore Logan, and that's all I saw in anything that he was in. I could not take him seriously enough to go watch any other movie that he was in. So it took a coworker of mine that would bother me daily to watch the first Matrix movie. I finally did, and I enjoyed it. It was cool. I just had to get past that whole thing about Keanu and all. But he still kind of displayed that in some scenes, you know, when Morpheus takes that jump to the next building. Keanu, whoa. You know what I mean?
Sure. Yeah. Dude, it was yeah.
Yeah. But then after that, I enjoyed it.
Better CGI than the Flash.
Cool.
I have to say that the first time I saw Matrix, you know, Keanu Reeves was in another cyber thriller called Johnny Mnemonic. And that Robert Longo directed, who is a visual artist from New York. And and William Gibson's story and all that. I didn't like it. And when I saw The Matrix when it was nobody really knew what it was. It was 1999, so you couldn't watch trailers online. You know, it took like overnight to download the Phantom Menace trailer if you want to see one trailer. So
yeah,
I went and saw Matrix kind of on a lark on the Warner Brothers lot at the Steve Ross Theater, because the Steve Ross Theater is so good. It's such a great venue because it's on the Warner lot and it's built to spec, that I'm like, okay, I'm gonna go see the Matrix simply because. And it was it was like everybody I knew in LA, journalists, geeks, whatever. We're all kind of like, yeah, we're here, whatever. We'll go see whatever this Matrix movie is. And I've never sat in a theater and or felt an audience be more won over by a movie.
Yeah.
Like that whole red pill, blue pill scene. And then when he wakes up and you realize he's a battery and like all of humanity. I mean, in that movie, because I'm usually ahead of movies because I've seen so damn many and read so many books and comics. I know what's happening. I didn't see this coming at all.
Yeah,
I had and when he wakes up, I was like, my mind was blown. I was like, I couldn't believe what I was watching. And then after we were off to the races. And I think that that audience, when in my lifetime, there have been seldom, and that was 24 years ago. When you're coming out of that theater, it's hard to believe that movie came out 24 years ago.
1999.
1999.
Bro. I know, it trips me out. Wasn't that Phantom Menace too?
Yep.
Phantom Menace as well. Mm-hmm.
Yep. And when coming out of that theater, the entire audience of jaded geeks, like, that was the greatest thing I've ever seen in my life. Oh my God. and I think that was really the last time in a movie theater that I was, truly blown away by something. And I can think of like Jurassic Park blew me away because the photorealistic dinosaurs, the Matrix. I wasn't as blown away, but I did think Inception was kind of mind blowing.
That movie was badass. I like that movie.
And I couldn't stay awake. It's ironic that it's about sleeping. And I couldn't finish it, dude.
And then I remember in 2012 when I was sitting watching the Avengers, I kept thinking to myself, I can't believe this movie exists. Because I've been reading Avengers my whole life, and I'm like, I can't believe this movie exists. And I was sitting next to was it 2018? I was sitting next to the late great John Schnepp, watching Infinity War at the 𝗕𝗘𝗢𝗎𝗏 in Hollywood, and we kept turning to each other like, this is the greatest thing. Like I loved Infinity War so much. It was like the realization of every childhood comic book fantasy I ever had, to like watch Doctor Strange come out of a portal to Tony Stark, who's talking to Pepper Potts in Central Park. You need to come with me. And I'm just like, and then they're having an argument that you had Wong and the Hulk and Tony Stark and Doctor Strange. And then New York's getting attacked, and then Spider-Man shows up. And I'm like, this is so.
The pacing was like really good in that movie.
It was the whole thing, that movie. And I love Endgame too. Endgame has a lot more sprawl and it goes all over the place. It's not as focused as Infinity War, but those two movies, to watch them together, I'm just like, I can't even. And that to me was the pinnacle of joy as a jaded movie-going comic book fanatic, that the MCU led up to Infinity War and Endgame, and then you've got Spider-Man Far From Home as kind of like the come down from phase 3. But those two movies, and it's like you watch Marvel now, and there's no narrative thrust at all. And the thing about phase 1, 2, and 3 is it led up to Infinity War and Endgame, and I lost my mind. I'm a middle-aged man with one foot in the grave, and to sit there and watch Infinity War for the first time next to John Schnepp, when they're on Vormir, and you hear fucking oops. You hear a little floating skull. I was like, even though it was a sound alike.
Yeah, it's Ross Marquand.
You could still tell. It still sounded just like Hugo Weaving. And Schnepp and I just turned and looked at each other and lost our shit. Like, no. Like, I'm like literally bouncing around.
Dude, like that moment with the Red Skull, I was like, oh man. Yeah, shit was good. The only thing I didn't do is like I didn't weep or any of that. People are like, "Oh my god, they're all dead." I'm like, "No, they're not."
Yeah, I was in one screening where I had to go out. I was walking outside and this girl was just weeping in the corner, like, you okay? She's like, they killed everybody off. And I was like, okay, they're there. I was just there, just comforting her and shit. But it was cool to see that impact that movie had, with some of the audience goers.
Well, yeah, really I get that. I just knew. I was like, there's no way they're dead.
Yeah,
they got another Black Panther coming. They got a Spider-Man coming. I'm like,
well, Rob, I had sold off my Infinity War collection at the time, dude, and this just goes to show the testament of the power of this damn movie. I watched it again recently, and then like, shit, I missed my damn collection. I went back and started getting all the Infinity War Hot Toys again, so they're all, pretty much all back in the collection now, dude. Damn. That movie was that good.
It is. It's that good. It's so much fun.
Mm-hmm. It was. They were. Even the first Avengers, dude, going to see that build up and then seeing 2012 Avengers in the theater was like,
oh, dude, it was, and you can't even believe what you're watching.
No,
like when they go
growing up reading that
first, it's meeting the Hulk for the first time in that movie. I mean, it's like, I mean, to the Mark Ruffalo Hulk. I mean, it was it was incredible. Snuck in. I spent my entire youth sneaking into movies.
Who didn't?
They were much stricter about R-rated films, so we had to sneak into them.
We were dropped off, man, as kids, dude, on a Saturday, and we would spend all day in a multiplex just sneaking in different theaters, dude.
Have you ever heard of Mr. Holland's Opus?
Oh yeah,
yeah. I didn't until I snuck into the theater. It's like what I don't remember what we watched. When did that? I think we watched Jumanji. I think it was Jumanji in the theater, and we bounced, and I was like, well, let's go in here. What the hell is this movie? And that's the movie we snuck. I just remember that one. I mean, there was plenty that we did, but I just remember I was like, why are we even, what is this fucking movie? I'm like, whatever. We had nothing to do. What are we going to do? Go home? That's boring. People didn't stay at home growing up. We were out until forever. So I watched this movie. It wasn't bad. It wasn't a bad movie. But yeah, of course, we all did that, man. It's interesting you say that, though, about being stricter, because I saw Demolition Man. When did that come out? 92? 93?
Something like that.
I was like 11 or 12, bro. We rode our bikes to the theater. They just let us in.
Yeah, then they stopped. I mean, in the early 80s, it was rough. Yeah, Demolition Man was 93.
Yeah, that was awesome to see in the theater.
Isn't that hard to believe? That was 30 years ago, dude.
I know. It doesn't feel like it.
I mean, I'm going to be on my, I'll be on my last legs going, remember when Steel with Shaquille O'Neal came out? That was the only comic book movie we had that year.
Yeah, man. Yeah. I remember that too.
I remember when Blade came out back in my day. Wesley Snipes.
It was a great time to be alive, Jay. It sure was. It sure was. Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah, look, we're in different times now, man. That's what it is.
Yeah, I was on WDW, discuss that. By the way, I really like that guy and I like his channel. We had a really, I feel like between that show that I was on and our Midnight Musings last night, I feel like I've been having these great discussions with people.
That's what it's all about.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, we have to have discussions, man. We've talked about that. I mean,
yeah.
If we don't, I don't even know what we call it.
No, it's good.
Yeah, just a drone.
And Lael, our 1/6 scale man, went to Brooklyn today. He went from his home to Brooklyn, New York, to celebrate the 50th anniversary of the birth of hip hop.
Oh wow!
50 years.
That's what he's doing in Brooklyn. Wow.
50 years. They had the concert, but he's going to Brooklyn to celebrate. They're having a big old party to celebrate the 50th anniversary of hip hop. Isn't that crazy?
Cool, that's
50 years.
50 years of hip hop, man.
Man, this is kind of messing with my head. All these numbers, man. We don't do math in 6 scale, and we don't do math. That's what I always tell people. I'm like, hey, listen, because pricing and whatever. But when you start thinking about that shit, right? Yeah, like Demolition Man, 35 some years, fucking 50 years for hip hop. Like, what the fuck? Like, what? And the weird thing is of all the great stuff that we talk about, all the stuff we like, whether it's movies, TV, books, comics, music, it feels like it's a lost art now, like from a different, just a different time. Like,
but you know what? I have to tell you that like, I used to get really excited about comic books. Growing up reading a lot of, I would go for 30 years. I went every Wednesday and then Tuesday, but it was Wednesday going to get comic books. I have to tell you that reading I've been saying this a lot, but reading Hellfire Club, or pardon me, the Hellfire Gala 2023, which is a total full-on, Marvel comic, X-Men comic. I was blown away by that comic. I mean, talk about effing somebody up. Like that comic was, every page of that comic practically made me shriek with glee. Now, I haven't read Fall of X 1, or it's actually in the pages of X-Men. It's the Fall of X storyline with Kitty. I haven't read that yet. Leia was telling me about it. I can still, this jaded old F, can still read a comic book and be like, oh yeah. I was so excited when talk about a whooping. The X-Men got one of the greatest whoopings in comic book history in Hellfire Gala 2023. And the comic's like $9. I cannot recommend it enough.
Really?
If you haven't been following the storyline, it'll be probably nonsensical, but if you are, it's like the greatest thing ever.
I tuned out like 5, 7, 10
Dude,
years
I did
ago.
too. I was so out because I read the X-Men for the better part of 40 years, and I was so bored. It was just until Hickman's X run, and a lot of people hate Hickman's X run, House of X and Powers of 10, and I'm like, no. What he did was full on brand new. It was awesome, and not everything that came out of it was awesome, but I loved it, and I've never seen. They just laid waste. It was beautiful, and I'm like, wow, I'm reading a Marvel comic, and I can't wait to see what's next. I haven't felt that
been a while for me for that
in a long time.
I'll check it out then, because I mean Hickman's run on the Future Foundation was cool. Fantastic Four.
Oh, Fantastic Four and Avengers. I'm a Hickman fan, and I love what he did with X-Men. Loved it because he totally took him in this really weird, bizarre direction that I loved. I don't care. It was great.
Well, then I'll have to check it out because I feel like a lot of the stuff now we have some gems. We have gems here and there. Well, yeah, we do. I mean, For All Mankind is good. The Expanse is good. Picard season 3.
Oh, I was just talking about comics.
Comics? No. I just mean in general, and like certain music.
Oh no,
is good
there's great. If you look at all the shows that are nominated for Emmy Awards this year for Best Comedy and Best Drama, we're living through a golden age of great programming.
Yeah,
there's really great stuff going on. It's just I think our franchises are not. They're not great, and they're not great because they're not. I don't understand. There's got to be filmmaker, and here I use this as an example. Ryan Coogler, I guess his mother had cancer, and his father and him, to bond over this tragedy, they were watching Rocky movies.
Oh,
that's what he came up with the idea for Creed. And what balls on that guy? He went to pitch Sylvester Stallone. He goes, yeah, that franchise that you've been doing since 1976 that won the Academy Award for Best Picture? I have an idea to make a new movie in your universe, and I want you to play a supporting character. Rocky's going to be supporting, not front and center. And he did it because he loved Rocky. He loved Rocky, and Stallone signed on, and he made Creed. That's now there's 3 movies, and Michael B. Jordan directed Creed 3, which I really loved. And I understand Sylvester Stallone has a problem with the Creed thing, but at first, the first Creed movie was because Ryan Coogler, world-class filmmaker, he'd already made Fruitvale Station, got a lot of indie credibility, he'd already done it, and then he wanted to do it. He went to Stallone because he had an idea to extend his favorite franchise, or one of his favorite franchises, and he got to make it. Why don't we get that with Star Trek and Star Wars? Where's the world-class filmmakers or some indie darling that comes out and goes to Paramount and go, here, I really want to make this Star Trek movie. Or I go to Disney, I want to make this Star Wars movie.
Yeah.
Why is it? I mean, when J.J. Abrams did interviews for Star Trek 09, he's like, I never really liked Star Trek.
I remember that.
Like, why are you doing?
Really?
Why did they give my favorite franchise to you? Nah, I never liked it. Too philosophical. I'm like, so you just came along to wreck it? That's what you decided to do? But if we could get filmmakers, I mean, Star Wars is one movie away from becoming everybody's favorite franchise again.
It's all it takes. It's really all it takes is one.
But the problem is the way that Star Wars has been received these days. I don't think any director is going to want to come close to it anymore.
No, here's the thing, dude. Like, and I don't know if this is the same situation, man, but I felt that way with all of Star Trek Discovery, And then the first couple of seasons of Star Trek Picard, and I was just like, oh my God, I'm not, this isn't for me. And then Terry, right?
That's all it takes. That's all it takes is somebody
got me back.
I mean, the Book of Boba Fett and Mandalorian season 3 are perplexing to me because I don't even know, like, how does any intelligent person look at what they've done? We were talking about this last night on Midnight Musings. Lael and I and we're talking about this. You already have, like, here's what I don't understand. So if you look at the original Star Wars, George Lucas was aping what Kurosawa was doing. There's a lot of Hidden Fortress, the movie Hidden Fortress. He was looking at the Jedi or Samurai, all that stuff. He looked to Kurosawa to come up with Star Wars. So why nowadays, I mean, the man with no name, Boba Fett is the man with no name. He even has a poncho, the original Boba Fett drawings. He's got Clint Eastwood's man with no name poncho. So the man with no name, what was A Fistful of Dollars and for a Few Dollars More based on? Yojimbo. Kurosawa's samurai movie Yojimbo. So why aren't the people who are making Boba Fett, why don't they go back and go, oh, so why don't we just emulate, I'm not saying copy, but do what George Lucas himself did. If you're going to look at Boba Fett and you're going to make it cool, like we've seen so many interesting crime thriller stories. Tony Montana takes over the Miami cocaine trade. The idea of Boba Fett realizing, like after his experience falling into the Sarlacc pit and meeting, like when he meets the Tusken Raiders, why aren't the Tusken Raiders badasses? Why doesn't Boba Fett use the Tusken Raiders as his own personal army? He's going
to do.
I did too, and make it smart. You make it badass and cool, and yet they did it. It was goofy. It was like a goofy Saturday morning cartoon, and then you've got the stupid, the Vespa gang and all this stupid shit. Like all you have to do is go watch Kurosawa. Go watch those things. You've got Robert Rodriguez. Like, go back and do that and make that. Go, okay, so Boba Fett is now Tony Montana. He's Christopher Walken in King of New York. He's De Niro in Goodfellas. He's all of those people. He's Michael Corleone in The Godfather, and he's going to go take over the underworld in the void left by the death of Jabba the Hutt. Go do that. And you make Boba Fett the coolest character ever. He's a badass. Yeah. And then it's not hard. Like, and what I don't understand, this is what I don't get. How did that not happen? Like, how did they deliver? How did they watch some of those episodes? How do they have a scene? I can't believe I live in a world where there's a scene where Boba Fett is chasing a dumb droid around a kitchen. And when he finally catches the droid, he has him up by the neck and says, I am Boba Fett. Dude, are you kidding me? This is the dumbest shit I've ever seen in my life.
I agree.
Like,
I agree.
Why are you doing this to Boba Fett? Who I want to know what numbnuts decided to have Boba Fett chasing a droid around a kitchen. In what universe? A first year, you know what? In the 7th grade, if somebody showed me that scene, I'm like, this is the stupidest shit I've ever seen. Mm-hmm. How do you write this dumb shit? How do you do this?
Well, we live in a day and age where you can't actually give that kind of feedback to people these days. Otherwise, people run off in a tantrum.
Yeah, but here's the thing. Those people are dumb because everybody should look at that scene. Every single person who likes good story.
I agree with you. I agree with you, man.
Just watch Empire Strikes Back, how Boba Fett's treated. Boba Fett outsmarts Han Solo.
Yeah.
He knows Han Solo's going to drift away in the garbage, knows his tactics, figures out he's going to Bespin, which, by the way, it's going to take months to get to Bespin, and it does because they have no hyperdrive. So Boba Fett gets there, brings the Imperial garrison there. They've laid a trap. They're just waiting, biding their time. And it also, because people think like Empire Strikes Back, the way it's set up takes place in a weekend. I maintain Empire Strikes Back takes place over months, but because of the way it's structured and it's a movie, you have to follow it. Luke was not on Dagobah for like 2 days. He was on Dagobah for a long time. And that's why he's got light speed. So you're looking at months because the Empire, the Millennium Falcon would have taken months to get to Bespin because it didn't have its hyperdrive. So, but anyway, be that as it may, Boba Fett is a badass. And how do you watch Empire Strikes Back and do what they did to him in the Book of Boba Fett? Or even in Mando Season 3, when Boba Fett shows up, he's the most badass MFer ever.
Oh yeah, in season 2. Yeah.
In season 2, when he shows up with his, and he had the gaffy stick and he kicks ass, he knocks stormtroopers on their asses. How do you go from that to the Book of Boba Fett? It's like, this is what I don't get. Who did that? Like, I know who did it. The same guys who made Mando season 1 and 2 were the same guys that made Mando season 3. What the hell, man? What are you doing?
Not caring?
Well, it's
I don't know.
I think it's a combination. Like, we were talking about this last night, and Leia was saying, like, obviously Grogu was the breakout star of the show. So when they figured Grogu's story going off with Luke was the end of Grogu, I'm sure from Disney corporate, not Kathleen Kennedy, Disney on up high said, well, we have to, you can't get rid of Grogu. He's the one they're buying all the merch, right. Cash cow and all that. So, yeah, I mean, that's what it's amazing to me. Oh well.
Yeah, it sucks, dude. I'm with you, man. I'm with you. It's been a little bit of a disconnect for me, because for me, and some people love it and that's cool, but it's not just Star Wars. A lot of these IPs that I've loved,
they're bad.
Like, yeah, most of my life, I'm like, what happened? Where did it go wrong? Right? Like, how do you take something and just disregard everything?
I don't know. Like, how can you make? I don't know. And I also get the idea that a lot of the people that are in control of these things haven't actually seen them, or they give them a cursory glance, or they read a BuzzFeed article, the top 25 episodes of Star Trek. Or, and they don't have an innate understanding of what they're watching, which I don't understand, but you can clearly tell that somebody didn't do their homework. And we also have another problem, and this is not, a lot of people now in Hollywood, and this is a problem that I hear about across the board, and you see it in Hollywood's effort to be more inclusive and to be more equitable. There's a lot of people that are not quite qualified. They haven't done the work yet to be in the positions they get put in. And I'm all for having people that have not had a voice or have not been able to get a leg up, or for whatever reason have not been able to get into the industry, but then they get into positions that they're simply not qualified for because they haven't done the work to get there. And we get substandard, we get substandard writing, substandard directing, substandard editorial across the board. And then you hear about this from people, and it becomes like, and it's not that anybody doesn't want people to get a leg up. It's just that Hollywood is very, very expensive. It's the one job where you can actually quantify on a set how much every second costs. So it's not a place where you're going to give people an opportunity to shine. The people that are working in Hollywood, especially when you're making TV and movies at that level, where you're spending millions of dollars, it should be a meritocracy. And the thing is, no one's stopping anybody from making a movie. I always go back to Spike Lee. Spike Lee's first film, She's Gotta Have It, came out in a black and white movie about a girl that lives in Brooklyn who has multiple boyfriends. I thought when I first heard about this, I saw it at a film festival, I'm like, who cares about that? The movie's a knockout. Spike Lee showed he had talent. He financed the film himself. He made one of the first breakthrough pre-Soderbergh, pre-Kevin Smith. He made one of the first breakthrough indie films in the late 80s. He did that himself. No one else gave him an opportunity to go make that movie. He had to scrimp and save, and he got a job in a shoe store to pay for that movie and did it himself, which is what all independent filmmakers can do. Nobody is stopping anybody. We have the technology now between what fan films are able to do, Star Wars fan films with special effects.
Yeah.
If you have people that are truly talented, we have the tools and the technology to make first-class A-list science fiction movies. But it's just really hard to make them. It's really
especially now.
hard. It's like alchemy. I mean, there's so many effects. Let's shoot on the volume stage, which, by the way, has now gotten to the point where it's not believable because most people don't know how to use the volume stage to make it believable. It's become a crutch.
Yeah.
I mean, Fast X to me I love the Fast and the Furious franchise. Fast X, like Fast 9, but Fast X for a different reason, it was unwatchable. And I love that franchise. But Fast 9 and Fast X, I could barely get through it. I hated every minute of it. It was painful to watch that movie.
I think I stopped at like 5 or 6, maybe. I don't.
Yeah, same here.
Five's a masterpiece.
Yeah,
I'm not caught up either. I think at 6 is where I stopped as well.
Yeah, it was something like that. But I mean, now too. Like, I don't know if you heard, because I was a little out of the loop, but I was over in Vegas and talking to some of the actors and all this stuff. But like, Disney's put together like a fucking task force now. Did you hear about that shit? Where they're just strictly researching everything they can of all things AI, so that they could use that to facilitate.
Well, that's what everybody's going to do.
Yeah, but like, they put out this whole thing. They're like, yeah, we have.
They've got the whole and yeah. So once again, you think that AI is going to save you? I mean, it's really frustrating.
Yeah, it's rough, man. OG fan, my man, thank you so much, dude, for that $5 super chat, man. It says, thanks, Rob. I have a whole rant about Boba Fett and Empire Strikes Back. Less than a minute and a half of screen time. How is he the most feared bounty hunter in the galaxy? Wow. First, I appreciate super chat.
And why? Because he knows what he's doing.
Yeah.
And I mean, even when Vader turns to him and goes, and no disintegrations. Like
they convey that to the audience, as us, as the viewers. Like,
Vader already knows his reputation. That's why I hired him. It's not IG-88, it's not Zuckuss, it's not Dengar, it's not Bosk. Of all the bounty hunters there, who gets hired? Boba Fett.
Yeah,
because Darth Vader knows, and that's when he turned to him and says, "No disintegrations." What it allowed the audience to do was infer what if Darth Vader hires Boba Fett, he's already the badassery of Boba Fett. I mean, is more than the other bounty hunters, and Bosk was pretty badass, even though he's wearing a rebel flight suit. Pretty much, doesn't matter. He's still badass, but Boba Fett is the baddest of the badasses. And he figures out what Han Solo is doing. Everything in Empire Strikes Back. I mean, Boba Fett wins. He wins. He gets Darth Vader to trust him. Darth Vader doesn't trust him. Darth Vader hires him. He's worth a lot to me. Well, you will be compensated if he dies. But who knows if that would have happened. But you know what? I believe it would have, because if Darth Vader tried to stiff Boba Fett would have killed him.
Probably. What are the tempted to?
Yeah.
But,
I think
but he didn't have to, because you know what? Darth Vader respected Boba Fett. And if Darth Vader respects Boba Fett, he hired him. He turned to him and said, I know your reputation. No disintegrations. Boba Fett's like, all right. Because Boba Fett respected Darth Vader. They had a mutual respect going on. And Boba Fett did exactly what he was supposed to do. He found Han Solo. They set the trap for Luke. All good.
Well, and I think that's, to your point, right? That's how we see it as a viewer, right? We're like, oh, okay, so he knows him well. He knows that this is probably what he would do. He needs him alive, Vader kind of already knows like what Fett's about, right? That's why he hires him. So I don't know. I feel like, he's feared bounty hunter, man.
So if you're gonna make a Boba Fett TV show, the guiding principle of that show is this is a character that Darth Vader hires to get the job done. That's got to guide your writing.
Sure.
Because if Vader hires him, he's the best there is. And you have to write him that way. You have to write him that Darth Vader respects this guy.
Well, I turned him into a Looney Tune.
Yeah. Well, that was, that's what's up. And what you have to ask yourself is, how come they don't write him that way? How do they? You'd think even with Jon Favreau and Dave Filoni in charge, how does Book of Boba Fett happen? It happened on their watch.
What's so weird, like, as you mentioned, because in season 2 of Mando, Boba was pretty badass coming back.
Yeah.
And it's not like time has passed, right, Mario? Like, when Book of Boba Fett starts, it's really like right at the end of season 2 of Mando.
It's just when I don't know. I hate to blame upper management for when every time everything goes wrong. I just can't help but feel that, corporate stepping in and just blocking all the creativity, from the directors.
I think you have to blame upper management, and not Kathleen Kennedy. It's Disney themselves, and it's what they want. It's not Kathleen Kennedy who said you have to put Grogu in it. It was Disney.
Yeah.
And they own this stuff. And
that's their moneymaker.
Yeah. And it's you gotta do it that way. but yeah.
Yeah. Well, we'll see what goes on with Star Wars coming up. I mean, shit, I don't even know anything with the strike, though. You know what I mean? All future projects they can't seem to come to any kind of agreement.
Right.
I was told most actors are only making like 25, 30,000 a year. And
I don't know. Really? Is that really a thing?
Yeah.
In this day and age?
Yeah, unless they're like big movie stars. I mean, the guild is like what, 260,000 members?
Yeah, something like that.
It's a lot of people, man. And yeah, it's
especially
tough, man.
Especially living in LA. There's no way anybody can survive off of a salary like that.
Yeah, well, it used to be, you know, our favorite shows like Star Trek: The Next Generation. Those were 26 episode shows.
Sure.
And and it used to, like everything now, they want to do everything on the cheap, you know, and the shows are more expensive to make. You know, the technology, if you look at these genre shows, $10 million an episode. Like Next Generation was like $1.5 million an episode. And I know that was a long time ago, but still it's like people know how to make these things less and less and less, and they rely more and more on all this technology. And it's kind of
not only that, they're also saying like, it's kind of like when VHS came around.
Yeah, I will be right back. I've got to go.
Time.
I'll be right back.
Take your time. I'll get into that in a minute when Rob gets back, because it's very similar to that situation where
I'll be back.
VHS came and the distribution rights and the actors were getting like nothing.
Mm-hmm.
You know, where the studios are like, well, we're raking in all the money from distributing, you know, licensing our films to, you know, Blockbuster or whatever. Yeah,
and that's when videos were like $100, $300 to buy when they first, you know, when all that shit was happening back in the day.
Yeah, dude. And they're kind of trying to do that now with streaming. They're like, well, no, this is our property. So if you know, 10 years from now, go, you know what, I want to watch Mando again.
Mm-hmm.
You haven't watched it in a decade. And you're like, fuck it, put it on Disney Plus. Actors don't get anything. Like the rest of their life, like they get like they get paid, the job's done, and then they have nothing for the rest of ever. So
do we know that they don't get any residuals from streaming?
Apparently not, unless they're like big, you know, or like somebody like Jack Nicholson, where he's like, yo, I want money off everything from Batman, every merchandise, any movie that has Batman in it. Like but that was Jack Nicholson, you know, not everybody's like that.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
I'm sure Pedro Pascal must have negotiated something, considering he's the main character of this thing.
Even then, he's not like a big actor.
No, I mean, but he's definitely on the way up there.
Yeah. No, I agree with that. I just, you know.
This is interesting topics with Rob, man. That's why, you know, one of the things I love having him here, just to hear his take on all this stuff, man.
Yeah, exactly.
I just feel like a fly on the wall. I just want to hear what he has to say.
Yeah.
There's people in the chat talking about how they could just listen to him, like, you should teach a class or something like that. Give lectures, you know, in Hollywood. It's great.
I did forget to bring this up though. Yeah. So speaking of, because
Big Chief Studio,
tonight, man. Yeah. So listen, I didn't get the Flash Gordon or Ming, but I did want them. They were also making a Laurel and Hardy. I don't know if you remember them from way back. And of course Doctor Who and a couple other things. I know a lot of people were buying the Doctor Who figures. That's pretty popular.
They do a lot of Doctor Who figures, don't they? I mean,
yeah.
I honestly didn't know too much about this studio until I heard the news that they were shut down. You know, so let me look into them. You know, and then I saw some of the stuff that Sideshow was carrying on their site, and I noticed that a lot of it was just, you know, Doctor Who. But apparently, I guess
a couple James Bond, Dr. No.
But they also did they also sell Hot Toys in the UK? Is this the same company?
I don't know about that, because I don't live in the UK.
Well,
we can look. No, I don't know. No, it's just not in my brain. I don't know that. So
yeah.
But I do know that they're fucked. 1701 8J. I'm close to 2 G's on Doctor Who pre-orders. I'm actually more disappointed about not getting the figures than angry about losing the cash. So wait a minute, you can't even get your cash back, or what?
Well, it depends if you got them directly from Big Chief Studios or not. I don't know how that's actually going to work out. I'm sure Sideshow is going to do what they can to help, you know, make things right. But when it comes directly from the studio, I don't know. I would imagine so.
Yeah, and that's real fucking unfortunate, man. You know, I didn't really get into any of their figures. There was a couple that I wanted to get, but you know, yeah, as Robert, you know, points out, hoping someone picks up the mantle like Eaglemoss, because Eaglemoss went under. They were over 40 years old. They were making a bunch of, I have a shitload of them, Star Trek ships, you know, just small scale, little, you know, 4 or 5 inch Star Trek ships, amongst other things. And they went belly up. Somebody picked them up though, thank God. So maybe that would happen, but oh, no refunds. Most of them were paid off for a couple of years now. Shit.
Oh, dude.
See, now that's the problem, right? Because, and God forbid any, you know, this happens to anybody else, but you know, we're 1/6 scale collectors. And when you see someone like, you know, Big Chief, they are not that big, but they still had some pretty big properties under their belt. You know, and this is not the first time we've seen something like this happen in 6 scale companies.
Yeah.
It kind of makes you, you know, you worry a little. I mean, I doubt anything's going to happen to fucking Hot Toys, but
no,
you know,
but this is one of those things that you don't think about. You know, I mean, we see companies that stick around for a while. I mean, granted, things happen, you know, recently with the pandemic, but we see who's actually survived everything. But I don't know. Do you think these companies should be more transparent about things like this? Like, hey, we're struggling. We don't know whether or not.
No, I don't think a company would ever do that, right? I mean,
that's the thing. So, us as collectors, we're blind to that fact. So we're just going to keep, you know, investing where we want. So, I don't know. It's difficult to say either way, dude. It really is.
Yeah, it's like you don't know what happens until it happens, because that's how it works. Like a company's not going to come out and be like, dude, we're in financial peril right now. Then all of us are going to be like, whoa, I need my pre-orders back. I need my, you know, deposits, whatever. And then they're just, they're not going to do that, right? So it doesn't, it hits us like a fucking ton of bricks when something like this happens, right? There's no warning signs because we're not privy to any of their financial, you know, and any of their shit. So
1701 AJ says that Big Cheese Studios was a major Hot Toys distributor in the UK.
Okay, so they were. All right, cool.
They were.
Cool.
So
all right, did not know.
Imagine that now.
Jeez. And yeah, I think Bantamboy, they were licensed. They have licensed IPs. So it's really yeah, dude. It's unfortunate, man. Hey, NR, dude, Big Cheese. And well, you know, here's the thing though, man. You also have to think about something like that too, right? As a 6 scale company, other 6 scale companies could look at that though and be like, okay, well, wait a minute, why did they fail? Was it were they poorly managed, or did they invest too much in an IP that's not that popular? And one could argue, but oh, surely Doctor Who's popular, a 50, 60-year-old franchise. Well, maybe not though, right? Maybe not. So then is a company willing to try to scoop up that license and face the same situation? Like you never, there's a lot of risks involved with other companies.
All kinds of different factors, man. Or if just people that are managing money just doing stupid shit behind the scenes as well. You know, you never
likely
really know.
Be the situation. I mean, we can't forget we did come out of a fucking pandemic.
Sure.
And there were times where a lot of people just money wasn't working, you know, or whatever. And with increasing costs and everything, maybe they just can't afford the overhead, and then, you know, the debt just keeps piling until you're like, well, we got like 25 pre-orders for this doctor, but that's not keeping the lights on. You know what I mean? So it's
a shame, dude.
Yeah, dude, this really sucks.
Especially for those that can't. I don't understand how collectors can't get their money back. I mean, if they're liquidating their assets, I mean,
yeah, but they have to. The fucked up thing is they're paying all of their
previous
other bills first,
right? But don't investors and collectors have a say so in that, or a part of that, or is everybody just screwed?
Nah, man, we get screwed. Isn't that what happened with fucking was it Chronicle or you know, or Molecule? I don't remember what, but you know, the situation is like this happens.
Molecule 8 just robbed. Yeah, they just straight up robbed K.A. Kim. You know.
Yeah. So what do you do?
They completely did her dirty.
Yeah, it's fucked up. Rob, you're muted, but welcome back.
This sucks.
Yeah,
I had
Let's talk about
the
this.
Space 1999 𝗕𝗘𝗢𝗡 figure on order for like 3 years.
3 years, holy jeez. Was it directly with Big Chief Studio? Or
Yeah.
Oh man.
Oh no, you know what? I think it was through Big Bad Toy Store.
Okay.
But at least I guess I can get a refund from them, maybe, or at least store credit or something.
Probably. Most likely.
But yeah, sorry, I had to feed the dogs.
No, you're okay.
It was because I can't let my bubbers go hungry. It sucks. I mean, you have two, and what's interesting, these are both UK. We lost Eagle Moss that Master Replicas has picked up, and we lost Big Chief. And you know, Big Chief was a big like hot sideshow-esque retailer. They were a Hot Toys distributor in the UK. They sold a lot of other stuff, and I think that they had a cash flow issue. You know, manufacturing 6-scale figures, and they were also Doctor Who is their big license that they manufactured all the Doctor Who stuff. They did some Jerry Anderson stuff, and they didn't survive. I mean, and it wasn't like, well, we're going out of business in a couple of months. It's like, we're done. We're out. You're out of the family, Tom. It was good. It's a bummer. And you know, Eagle Moss I loved Eagle Moss, but luckily I had $1,000. They have a Partworks kit of the Enterprise D.
The D.
And they were picked up by Fan Home. And luckily I just got my first packet of stuff from them that I thought I would never get. I got the big stand the D goes on, and the parts they picked up right where I left off. And they sell the 𝗕𝗘𝗢𝗢𝗕, the Millennium Falcon, the 4-foot Millennium Falcon model. And it was great, you know, that they've come back. So
yeah,
but it's really sad that Big Chief is gone, because they made those. But you know what, I have to say, even their Flash Gordon figures that they made turned out to be a little disappointing.
You know what I will say about Big Chief is they're fucking expensive, dude.
Yep.
They're pretty pricey for what you get.
Yep. And I picked up a few of their Doctor Who figures from Master Replicas for much cheaper than their retail prices.
Which I sent you, by the way. They were selling the old QMX Enterprise chair.
Yeah, I already had that, but what a great they still, I think, have them. That is a steal.
I scooped one up.
Yeah.
Because I never had one. I just never had one. So
it's great.
You know, and I was like, well, okay, I'll grab one. $60 out the door or whatever. I'm good. So yeah, it's unfortunate, man, that this has happened. And so, I mean, I sympathize with everybody out there who was, you know, pre-order stuck in hell, money's going away, and you know, or even if you didn't have anything and you were looking forward to something,
well,
sucks,
I also think collecting ebbs and flows, you know, and I think that I have to say that if you look at Hot Toys, the 1-2 punch of Marvel and Star Wars not delivering anymore, there's an overall, when that happens, I think there's an overall malaise about the whole thing. Like I feel like what figures, like I'll buy Moon Knight, even though I hated the show, because Moon Knight's one of my favorite Marvel characters, and even in the comics he's had very few. My favorite run was from 1980, you know, and I'll buy those figures. But moving forward, as much as I think Hot Toys makes a great product, but the only reason people buy figures is they want to look at something that gives them, like, I love that movie, like Mario, like the professor was saying. I went back and got all those Infinity War figures again because the movie's good, you know, and you have them on your shelf and you smile. If you don't like the movie, and if they're letting you down, why buy the figures? And I think what happens is then Hot Toys wonders, well, why is no one buying our figures? And I'll tell you, I look at something like, maybe no one's supposed to say Toys Wonderland, but I've still got stuff at Toys Wonderland, and Toys Wonderland, you see they've been having sales every week. They're trying to blow out. You can get some deals at Toys Wonderland. They're blowing out figures left and right. And I've picked up some pretty good stuff from Toys Wonderland cheap. That when people are selling Hot Toys figures at a substantial discount, there's something going on that you need to look at and be like, The thing about EXO-6 is luckily everyone they've EXO-6 right now. No one's made Star Trek figures like that, and as long as they keep the quality up, the Star Trek fans are going to buy them because they were a market that was never served by the collecting community. QMX tried, and they did a few releases, and they never did. I mean, 𝗕𝗔𝗩𝗘 knows, and he's putting out stuff, and the stuff that he's putting out for the most part has been spectacular, especially if you're a Star Trek fan. I mean, look, this figure, I look at this figure, and I haven't seen it, I haven't held it in my hand, but to me, I can't imagine a better Krug from Star Trek 3 than this particular figure. It's amazing. The armor looks amazing, and it's, you know, it's Hot Toys price. What is this, $290?
Yeah, it's about 300.
Yeah. Worth it. It's rooted hair, it's armor. I mean, this is a really beautifully done figure. I've wanted a high-end Klingon figure like this with the old school motion picture armor my whole life.
Yeah,
but is it wool rooted hair? That's the question.
I don't know. That's a good question.
It's really nice.
Yeah.
Put it that way. I held it in hand because obviously I set up the display. All new stuff, man. You know, that's the thing. I mean, there's all new tailoring, soft goods, the sculpt. I mean, sorry, my computer was goofing up here for a second, guys, but let me bring it back up. Where is it? And just went up for pre-order last week, man. Where is my damn tab, guys? Sorry, my computer got all crazy. But and you know, for Star Trek fans, like, you know, especially you, Rob, I mean, you know, you're super excited.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Because we've never had that. Does he come with the cloak too that he wears on the planet?
No, this is what he currently.
Yeah, okay. I didn't know. I didn't think he did.
Yeah,
not that he has to. But
no, but I mean, he
does.
If you're talking about his robe,
yeah, he does come with that. Yeah. Oh man, that's badass.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, super freaking cool, man. So, you know, and listen, TOS is coming next year. Maybe also, you know, we had you know, Walter Cohen stop by the booth, and we showed him off figures, and yeah, so stay tuned for next year, guys. That's all I can really say about that. But yeah, pretty damn cool, dude. You know, I love Klingons though, so just not only that, just as a fan in general, I'm all about it, man.
Oh,
and
yeah,
I really liked him in that. You know, Star Trek 3 dude was pretty awesome.
Although I was hoping to see Disco McCoy, man. Come on.
Well, you will.
I know.
You will, man. You know how it goes.
I know.
Things take time, and
I have to say that they've been doing a pretty good job. You know, stuff comes out and you get it.
You get it. You get it. You know, that's a big bonus. I mean, I don't know, Mario, I know you're interested in some of it, but not all of it. But
I don't think the collector's market that we talk about is interested in Star Trek. There's not a lot of overlap from the Hot Toys market to Star Trek. And you know what's funny? That should show Paramount something. They're constantly trying to turn Star Trek into this huge franchise, but it's always been niche. You know, there's somebody who's making figures from Star Trek 09 that was at the convention. Did you see those? The ones that are, and
no.
Yeah, and it's like who wants figures from Star Trek 09?
I'll tell you who wants figures from Star Trek 09, dude. The Asian audience.
Do they? Okay.
They fucking love those JJ movies, dude.
Because
they like Zachary Quinto. They
I like the JJ
Pine.
movies.
Most of them are women, dude, and they'll buy them.
Okay.
It's crazy. I mean, here I get it, right? Of course, Mario. That's all he knows is the JJ, so he likes it.
That's not all I know. Get out of here with that. That's what I enjoyed
for modern Trek. I'd say.
Look, I mean,
right?
people. The thing is, EXO-6 is going to put out 5 Wrath of Khan figures. All those figures are going to sell out. All of them.
Yeah,
they're all going to sell out. And if they were to drop on the same day, they'd still sell out.
Yeah. No.
Because there have never been. I mean, we had Mego 12-inch Star Trek figures, you know, from Star Trek: The Motion Picture, but those are Mego.
Mm-hmm.
No one's ever
and
done
Playmates.
high-end. Yeah, Playmates did the 8-inch ones, which are really good for what they were. Mass-produced 8-inch figures, and then they did 12-inch figures too. But their 12-inch figures were not great. 13-inch figures, I should say.
Yeah.
They were not great. Some were okay.
Dude,
the colors
I'm
were
gonna tell you
not
something. Right. I'm gonna let this run while we talk because I want you guys to see this because this is kind of cool. This was literally just me walking around in Vegas.
Oh,
yeah. This is about an 8-minute walk from the casino lobby all the way to the event hall. But while we're on the topic of this is what I wanted to bring up. I've never seen such stark contrast between, as what Rob just mentioned, in like a 6-scale / hot toy community versus Star Trek fans at a convention. And Mike Gimbel screwed up here, but every person coming by was absolutely just super positive, super blown away, super excited. I mean, it's crazy. It's crazy to think things like that when, like you're saying, like a lot of the 6-scale world, they don't watch Star Trek. A vast majority of them don't.
None of them do. And
yeah.
that it's funny. That's how I know. What's really interesting is that the people making Star Trek have no conception of that. They don't understand, and the people that they're making that are watching the show, they're fickle about it. They'll watch Star Trek as long as it's like they're not building an enduring fan base out of what because the characters, it's all the characters themselves. What's really interesting? No one on modern Star Trek does anything heroic. I mean, they kind of like there's no like big fist fights or anything like that. There's no that genre sci-fi space opera. Nothing like that is going on, and they're leaning into the interpersonal relationships of stuff. The problem with that is interpersonal relationships are part of everything, whether you're watching a cop show, a lawyer show, a show about high school, The Magicians, whatever you're watching, there's always interpersonal relationships in those shows because writers, that's all they can write. There's no real science fiction. I have a theory about the Star Wars, the Star Wars prequels. What's the hero spaceship?
Falcon?
In the prequels?
Oh, prequels, I'm sorry.
Yeah, what's the hero spaceship in the prequels?
Trick question.
There isn't one.
There isn't one.
There isn't one.
No.
And one of the things about the Star Wars gave us an X-Wing fighter and it gave us the Millennium Falcon. Two of the most iconic vehicles in any movie ever. In Empire Strikes Back, we got AT-ATs, AT-STs, twin pod cloud cars, the snow speeder. And the snow speeder was flown by Luke, and he took down an AT-AT. So the snow speeder, heroic ship. You want one. Jazz Inc. made one.
Yeah.
And that's the thing that people don't understand. When you're making a science fiction action adventure, or you're making a superhero movie, like what did the Batman give us? It gave us one of the most ferocious introductions to a car.
Good nap.
But in cinema history, there's a ferocious introduction to that Batmobile. That sound when it revs up, and just like the Batman movies have all of them. You've got the Michael Keaton Batmobile, the Val Kilmer Batmobile, not so much the George Clooney Batmobile, but when you have these kinds of vehicles, people that are making these movies need to give you the iconic, like the Naboo starfighter didn't become iconic till Mandalorian flew one. Then it's iconic.
Yeah.
I mean, even though young Anakin Skywalker blows up a droid control ship, who thought that a droid control ship couldn't be blown up? Because the Neimoidians were douchebags. They were not good villains. They weren't threatening. Your blockade is illegal or whatever. No, it wasn't.
Right.
You guys are idiots. And that's the thing. You've got to understand, if you're going to buy a toy, that toy better have an iconic moment in it, because that's what you recreate in your mind's eye when you pick it up.
Yeah. Yeah. No,
Ask
I agree.
Bob Dylan about how he feels about John Wick.
Oh, he loves it.
That's right, because John Wick is a badass, and whatever. I watched Bob Dylan's, whether he's having rooted hair, multiple head sculpts. I love Bob Dylan's love of John Wick, and the figures is.
It's amazing.
Robert Online says amazing. You thought Padme's Naboo starfighter was the hero ship. You mean Padme's SR-71, silver SR-71, but it doesn't really. It just takes you around. And when was the next? By the beginning of Attack of the Clones, it's been replaced. Yeah, it goes to Tatooine, and what's cool about that scene is Darth Maul fighting Qui-Gon Jinn in the sand out in front of that ship.
That was cool.
Yeah, but you know what? That ship was not heroic. R2-D2 was heroic when it goes outside on that ship and saves the ship's ass. And that's
right.
The thing is, you have to ask. Look, I bought the Kenner, the Hasbro version of that when it first came out. It was a cool toy, but even I'm like, I just don't. What is it? What is it's done? In my mind's eye, I'd look at it and I'd be like, what did this ship do?
Yeah.
All of this stuff, dude. I don't think I told you this, Rob. Just to segue, as I was showing you the haul. All this artwork, it's all AI.
AI, of course, it's all AI.
No kidding.
Everything you see, the shirts that they sold, all this is all AI. I mean, it looks great, but all AI, dude.
Yep.
Wow.
Yeah.
Because they couldn't use any real. They couldn't use any real stuff anyway because they're no longer licensed.
Yeah.
Creation used to be the big licensed Star Trek convention. It doesn't have a license anymore, so they cannot use any real Star Trek iconography. It all has to be. It can look like Star Trek iconography, but it can't really be Star Trek iconography.
Yeah, dude, it's pretty wild. It was pretty wild. But look, I mean, this was a decent walk. We did this like I don't know how many times.
Yeah,
like a lot. But this was really fun, man. This was really fun. Sean,
yeah, because they've been doing this convention at the Rio for a long time.
Well, I don't remember the last. Well, I don't remember. I know last year was at Bally's, right? And then this year, but I know they did it there before. But it was fun, man. It was every day, Sean. Yeah, we walked so much, dude. I got a little bit of. There's so much other footage that I'm working on. I just wanted to show you guys like how you do it when you come in, and it's a vendor hall. Dude, surprisingly, a lot of Star Wars people here.
Yep. Because we're all, people who love Star Wars. I mean, everybody who loves Star Trek also loves Star Wars because Star Wars didn't exist when we started loving Star Trek as kids. For us old Fs.
Yeah, man. Like we got, I think somewhere right here is like a Mando guy that you can kind of see right at the end here. Like, it's crazy. Yeah, but it was so much fun. It was so much fun, man. That's disturbing. Are all three of you AI? We might be.
No, because the greatest authenticity, the currency of the 21st century is authenticity. I've been saying that.
Yeah.
I was the first person to say that. Even the Critical Drinker quoted me on the Russell Brand show, which I very much appreciated.
Yeah, man. I don't know if you guys saw this either. I did a little clip, man. You'll recognize almost all of this, I'm sure. But so many cool cosplays here, man. It was.
Oh yeah.
It was wild. It was wild, man.
Star Trek the Animated Series cosplay right there. That was
the there's a stormtrooper in the Agonizer. That's pretty cool, man.
Funny.
Yeah, there was a lot of. There you go. You recognize that.
There you go. That's cool. You're carrying around a doomsday machine.
Yeah, dude. I thought it was pretty awesome. Star Trek 4. Yeah, Mario, I think you're muted, man. If you're.
Oh, whoops. Yeah.
You're okay.
You're good.
Yeah, man. This was pretty cool, man. These guys were awesome from Galaxy Quest.
Galaxy Quest. I love it.
Dude, they were like,
we are at a Star Trek convention.
Yeah, everybody was stopping them like every 5 seconds for photos. And it was really cool, dude. We had a lot of fun, man. I mean, so next year, man, hopefully you could come join the festivities, bro, because this was a lot of fun, man. They had this big cosplay train, so I was like recording it. They were just walking. There was like 100 people all doing a train, like that. Yeah, it was really cool, man. We had a lot of fun, dude. We had a lot of fun, but
that's all that matters.
Again. Yeah, man. I mean, shit, dude. It was like really freaking cool, man. I think most of the other ones I got pictures because some of it I didn't have my camera ready, at the time. But dude, see, people are missing out on stuff like this, man.
Yeah.
the 6 scale community that don't watch Star Trek, don't know Star Trek. I mean, yeah, we got Celebration for Star Wars, and that's cool. And
San Diego. For how much longer? It blows my mind that we haven't had a Star Wars movie in 4 years, and we're not going to get one for the next 2. That's over half a decade.
Yeah,
that seems crazy with Disney's investment. I mean, they bought Star Wars in 2012, and they had The Force Awakens out in 2015.
Yeah, think about that. It's funny. Yeah, it was. They haven't even really confirmed anything either, right? They were like, "Oh, we're gonna do this Rey thing, this Jedi Order, and then we're gonna do this, and we're gonna do that." But we don't really have anything on paper yet. Like, there's nothing.
They don't know.
Well, there's rumors about Mando season 4 becoming a movie. So does that count?
Well, they'll probably just tie that show up in a bow.
Look, I'll tell you what's really interesting. I think Ahsoka is going to be pivotal for the future of Star Wars. We know we're getting Andor season 2. And if you already like Andor, you know you're going to get more of the same. And you know where it's going because it leads into Rogue One.
Yeah.
But if Ahsoka season 1 is as good as the trailer looks, and I do think the trailer looks good.
Yeah,
me too.
That could turn the franchise around. It could reignite people's passion for Star Wars.
I hope so, man.
But if it's not, if it pulls an Obi-Wan or a Book of Boba Fett, they have a real problem. And we're going to know in a couple weeks.
But how crazy is that a character that was basically hated when she was first debuted in the Clone Wars movie is now, in a sense, has a franchise on her shoulders. She's like insanely beloved these days.
Yeah.
Now her TV show could kind of be, she could be carrying the weight on her shoulders for the franchise. Who knows? But we'll see, man.
I mean, it looks good.
Yeah.
That looks amazing.
All the stuff looks amazing, and it looks cool. I like all the cast that the people they've cast.
Did you go to SDCC, Rob?
No.
Yeah, they had a booth that had all the costumes out. They had Chopper out. They had a giant photo op, with the Rebels mural, bunch of lightsaber pops. It was a cool looking display, man.
I hope it's good, man.
Yeah, hopefully it lives up.
See, everyone's talking about the world between worlds. I hope not. I really don't think that Star Wars needs time travel or ways to.
I don't want it to.
Well, did you guys hear about that rumor? What's
no, I don't want to hear no rumors. Don't tell me.
Okay.
Well,
just because
if they're going to erase things that have already happened, I think that's a real mistake.
Yeah. We kind of talked about that Thursday on Scoundrels, but I got a little bit of negative feedback talking about it stuff too, but.
Yeah, because because I heard the stupid things right for the past 3 shows and they were all right. So I was like, you know what? I'm gonna try my hardest to not listen to anything and just watch it and see what happens. But I mean, dude, yeah, Tony, dude, next year, Vegas next year, bro, we'll be there. We'll be there again. So, yeah, Robert, dude, rest in peace, dude. Ray Stevenson, yeah, he totally, dude. That's where I thought they were going with Jorce. I don't really like what they're doing though, but I guess I gotta watch the show because I feel like they're cherry picking from Heir to the Empire, and I don't know how I feel about that.
Well, they are, and it's like it's now that they're doing all that stuff, why didn't they just go back and adapt that stuff in the first place? It was already laid out.
I'm really pissy about it. You know what I mean?
Well, you haven't seen Rebels yet either, dude. Rob, have you seen Rebels?
Yeah, I've seen Rebels.
So do you think that they're actually cherry picking from that novel instead of just expanding upon what's already been built?
I think that they're cherry picking from a lot. Well, Thrawn was cherry picked from Heir to the Empire.
Yeah, he was that character himself. Yeah,
and I think that, and now Timothy Zahn has written more than the Thrawn books. There's more of them than there used to be. I mean, I love the character of Thrawn, but the fact that they cherry pick characters from the expanded universe in the first place is weird to me. Why not just go in and adapt what they did? Because what's funny, people forget, but in '91, like Star Wars was dead in pop culture. Yeah. After Jedi and after Droids and Ewoks, the animated shows, the toys weren't selling anymore. Nobody cared. People had moved on. And by the late 80s, things were changing. And like 1990, you had Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles come out and things just get replaced. Pop culture gets replaced. But they made a concerted effort, and the first salvo of that concerted effort to bring Star Wars back, because they knew they wanted to make more movies and Lucas wanted to do the special editions and all that. They released the Dark Horse comic Dark Empire, and they released the Thrawn trilogy, and both of those were pretty damn good.
Yeah, I mean, I still love Heir to the Empire trilogy.
Yeah, and I loved the Dark Empire book as well, and I thought with the World Devastators and all that stuff, and it was really, really cool. And so I'm like, and I was a monster Star Wars fan. You know, I told people I saw Empire Strikes Back 26 times in the theater. And to read those things again, it re-energized my interest in Star Wars. I'm like, oh, these are cool. And then Dark Horse started putting out banger comics. You know, the way they handled the franchise in their comics was really good. And Dark Horse did great stuff with like the Alien versus Predator. I wish they had adapted that comic. And so Dark Horse really had great writers. They did right by the Predator franchise, they did right by the Alien franchise, and they did right by Star Wars. And so Star Wars was pretty cool. The expanded universe, some of the books that were being written, like the X-Wing books were good. The 𝗕𝗘𝗖𝗢𝗠𝗘, who was writing those books. Those books were good. There was the expanded universe stuff was really great, and they came out with like Mara Jade and all that stuff, and Luke getting older. All that was cool.
It was all cool. Well, some of it sucked, but there was still a lot of really good stuff there.
Yeah, I mean, the stuff that was good outweighed the stuff that sucked.
Yeah, for sure.
You know, and bringing up the Knights of the Old Republic and all that stuff, it made Star Wars really interesting.
I love Knights of the Old Republic. You know, more than probably the OT, to be honest with you.
Well, you know, you got into it because of the game.
Yeah.
Yeah, the game was dope.
The game was badass, dude. This shit's so funny, man. 𝗕𝗘𝗖𝗢𝗠𝗘 653, dude. Thank you so much for the $5 super sticker. I just love that it describes what the sticker is. Video game controller hobbles along unhappily with a broken arm. I like that. First, I was like, wait a minute, what are you talking about? But that's the sticker in the chat, dude. So I do appreciate that, my man. And I believe, man, 𝗕𝗘𝗖𝗢𝗠𝗘, man, my dude, celebrating 14 months of channel membership. Hashtag
nice.
Giveaway Laels Jenner. So yeah, that's been going on. That's been going on forever, dude. Yeah, there was a lot of great stuff, dude. And I don't understand. I don't know, man.
I mean, the funny thing about it is adapt that. I mean, I know George Lucas he wanted to do his own thing, but you know, even George Lucas, I think people change. The world changes, so it's, I don't know.
Yeah,
those were great things. I mean, it reignited my interest in Star Wars. So,
dude, well, you're right. All it takes is one, right? I mean, we get one good something, and we're kind of back. I mean, I feel like that's what happened with Mando. I mean,
yeah,
for me anyway. The sequels, forget it. Rogue One was pretty cool. It was all right. I mean, I like it. I don't think it's an amazing movie, but it. Out of Disney Star Wars, I thought it was the best one that they did. And then Solo was kind of like, did we need it? It was okay.
Solo was fun, dude. Solo was underrated. I think it just suffered. It suffered from just all the backlash from The Last Jedi, man. You know,
yes,
I think that movie deserves a lot more credit than it was given.
Yeah, it's pretty good. You know, but my point being is like none of that was really connecting to me. You know what I'm saying? And then it didn't do much to actually bring the community together, I guess, in a sense, or to help revive anything the way that The Mandalorian did, like you guys are mentioning. Yeah. You know, that's the issue. Then we got Mando season 1, and I was like, oh shit, this feels like Star Wars again to me. You know, and it just reinvigorated my love for it, and then. Oh, you know, that was let down again. But that always happens, I guess. You know what I mean? Like you said, we had these ebbs and flows. So it just takes one more something, like one good something to come out. And you're like, wow, that was fucking awesome. I can't believe they did that. And I'm excited again. But, you know, I think I've come to the realization that a lot of stuff nowadays just isn't made for us.
But you know what? I hear that a lot. People say that to me about Star Wars and Star Trek. We're here for great stories. And great stories don't change. And I think what's different is that people don't know what makes great storytelling anymore because they haven't got any.
Sure.
And you know, when we were growing up, especially because I'm older than you guys, there was a lot of great stuff. When stuff was made, there was Like, and also, I'll tell you something else. People knew more about the rest of the world. Like when I was growing up, the idea of nuclear war was a very real thing.
Mm-hmm.
You know, we were in the middle of the Cold War, and it was whether the Soviets were invading Afghanistan. It was we were much more. I feel like I watched a video. I was saying this last night. I watched a video, a TikTok video yesterday that it popped up in my feed where there was a teacher asking elementary school kids, or maybe it was junior high school kids. They were all wearing like Metallica t-shirts or Nirvana t-shirts or something. And I know it was a compilation, so you only saw what they wanted you to see.
Sure, of course.
But none of the kids wearing these shirts knew anything about the bands. They couldn't recognize a song. They knew nothing about the bands whose shirts they were wearing.
All those people posers.
Well, to me, but when we were growing up, nobody would ever wear a band t-shirt that they didn't know the band. The whole point in wearing a shirt was that you wanted other people to come up to you and go, "Hey, man, what's your favorite album? You know, what's your favorite song?" And you could start a conversation. It was you announcing to the world that I'm a Metallica fan.
Yeah, man. Fucking Ride the Lightning.
I mean, that's what it was. And that's why.
Yeah.
And to see these kids who are wearing band shirts for bands they don't know and have never listened to was odd to me. And I'm like, what a bizarre, like when I was growing up, that would be unthinkable to me for somebody to wear a t-shirt for a band they've never heard of or didn't listen to and didn't know a song. Like, what would be the point? And you do see that a lot. You see like those shirts like, oh, it's a vintage shirt of a rock band. So people just wear it and they don't even know what it is. And I feel that's the same is true of people. Like when I get in these arguments with people about Star Trek, a lot of them, it's clear to me that they haven't grown up with a lot of great storytelling that's surrounding. Look, I don't begrudge anybody that loves Star Trek, because there's going to be people that watch Strange New Worlds and it's the first Trek they've ever watched.
Sure.
And I think it's great. Star Trek stands on its own. You can go back, but there's a lot of people that go back to the original series and go, "Oh, it's goofy," or "Oh, yeah," because it was made 57 years ago. But if you're able to train yourself to go, okay, I understand the special effects or whatever. It was 66. Yeah. It's going to be 57 years in September. And it's like, if you just, you know what, if you close your eyes, and I've told people this, and go to BuzzFeed and pick out the 10 best original series episodes and don't watch them and just listen to them as audio podcasts, they'll blow you away.
Yeah.
Because it's all story and you hear the voices and you hear the writing. See, a lot of people are like, well, these sets look goofier, the special effects look goofier, that when they beam down to a planet, it looks odd. But if you listen to the audio, then you're like, okay, I get it now. Because everyone wants, it's like people.
Well, it's to your point. That's all they know, bro. Like,
yeah,
you know,
exactly.
I talk about that like with video games, man. People will play like this new Battlefield or new Call of Duty, and they think it's the best thing ever. And I'm like, bro, these suck. Like the old school shit that came out, if you're just staying in that shooter category, it's like they've taken away everything. They've dumbed it down. But like a lot of this generation, like it's like that's all they know. So they're like, oh, this is great. Like, well, there was some other really great stuff, man, that you just never got to experience. And yeah, it's rough. And I feel like this generation growing up now is undoubtedly, a lot of them are going to be like, dude, I absolutely love the sequel trilogy. Because they grew up with it, you know. It's just like the prequel kids.
Yeah,
I remember when they came out. They're like, whoa. So it's tough, man. Jason Trek was on my mace. That's a great idea, Rob. Tosses an audio drama would work.
All you have to do it's already an audio drama. It works as an audio drama. Just pick your favorite episodes, or if you've never watched the original Star Trek, go and look up the 10 best episodes of the original series, and don't just get they're streaming, and just listen to the audio, and you'll be
why don't they just tune into your new show too, right? You're going to be doing something like this.
Yeah, well, I'm going to be doing a compare and contrast review kind of a thing. But hey, listen, gentlemen, I must go. I have to go.
That is okay. We're likely going to wrap anyway. Do you have anything to say, Rob, before we do go? Because yeah, we're already at 2 hours. We'll probably wrap.
Yeah, no, I'm nope, just doing things on the Burnett work. You know, we're doing Let's Get Physical Media tomorrow. Maybe I'll do a show tonight. I'm not sure. But you know, there's the other creators that do shows. Like I love 𝗕𝗘𝗥𝗖𝗢𝗡. If you like anime, he does a great show called The Otaku Experience. And there's a video game show called Architects of Imagination that's really cool, and all on my channel. So check that out.
That's awesome. That's awesome, you guys. If you haven't already, Rob, I got your link in the description below as well. And Mario, somebody, you got stuff going on?
Of course, dude. Monday night, Profi Chat going on, 6 p.m. Pacific time. Chatting figures, chatting statues, talking just culture in general, man. It's just a fun time hanging out. Myself, 𝗕𝗥𝗢𝗔𝗓, Joao, and Miguel. It's 4 of us chilling. What else we got? I think Thursday night we might be doing Scoundrels again on Laos. We started doing a Star Wars ranking, and it's taking a little bit longer than I thought. So we might continue that this Thursday night on Laos. So it was a fun discussion, man. So and then I'll be back here. LWO obviously on Friday night, trying to figure out. We're coming up on episode 50 pretty soon, so we might be doing something special for that. So that'll be fun. And then back here on Saturday night,
dude.
Wrap it all up.
It's gonna be awesome. It is
always
gonna be awesome.
Always
again, guys. Yeah, dude. Make sure you guys subscribe to Rob over the Burnett Network if you haven't already. And
people are probably thinking that pretentious dickhead.
Nah, listen, Rob's awesome.
Dude, we love you, Rob. Everybody loves you, man.
Some people hate my guts. Like usually they're Star Trek fans, but that's okay.
Oh wow.
Yeah. Well,
I know people don't like my takes on modern Star Trek, which is fine.
you know, I know we got to go. I'll just say this.
By the way, Adrian, that comment that you just put up from Adrian, he's absolutely right. Because if you guys haven't seen War Games was a Cold War AI thriller that came out in 1983.
Yes.
40 years old. It stars Matthew Broderick and Ali Sheedy and John Wood. And even today, even though the technology is relatively primitive, I mean, you're looking at him busting into payphones, and people are like, "What's that? You put quarters into telephones?" But if you watch it, the writing still holds up, and you can still watch that movie and go, "Wow, that was really good."
I love that movie. Yeah. It's been a while since I've seen it, but I love that movie.
It's pretty good. It does, and it holds up. You know, it's funny. John Badham, who directed that movie. He took over directing the movie from Martin Brest, who ended up directing Beverly Hills Cop. But he made 2 movies that came out in 1980. He directed Saturday Night Fever, and he directed the Dracula with Frank Langella from the late 70s. But he also made a movie called Blue Thunder with Roy Scheider about a helicopter. And Blue Thunder is a great early 80s action movie, and it's kind of the greatest. It's a great bridge from the 70s cop conspiracy thriller to the 80s action film. And then he made War Games, and they both came out in 1983, and they're both really fun, even now, 40 years later.
Yeah, man. I mean, I'm not wearing it, but earlier, yes, Alien, 79. You're like, oh my god.
Yeah. And that movie, by the way, aside from the square computer readouts, that movie's a perfect movie.
Yes.
It sets the tone. It's a perfect movie. So, yeah. Well, listen, guys, we could probably talk all night about it. I know everybody's got to get going. Thank you guys all for tuning in. Hit that like button, man. If you're watching on replay, let's get it over to 100. You guys here, let's hit that like, hit that sub, all that good stuff. I don't know what's going on. I do have my Tuesday show, I think. I still got a couple more videos I'm doing for the Star Trek Con for all the Trekkies out there that are interested in that. That'll be coming up on the channel. And we got some other cool stuff happening. Hopefully the strike ends. I got a few people that want to come on the show and talk, and I think that'd be really fun, but we're waiting. The strike sucks for all of us. So, yeah. It really does.
Anyway, guys, with that said, you guys have a great rest of your night, morning, wherever you are. And, yeah. We'll see you later.